Think we're live. As per usual, I will wait the obligatory 60 seconds for fucking OBS to catch up. Don't know why I have that delay. Probably something I can fix. Never been able to fix it. Think we're live. Oh, we are live. Oh, I'm hearing myself back. That checks out. I always fuck something up. Well, actually, that wasn't as bad of a delay as I thought. So at least I know I'm live. Maybe I did fix it. That was like 15 seconds. I haven't done a day stream in a while. So I thought, why not? Thought of playing some Celeste anyway. I'm like, why would I sit and play Celeste without talking to the internet at the same time? What a fucking loser would I be if I just sat and played Celeste in silence? Terrible times. Very least, I get to hear myself talk. Slightly better, I get some chatters coming in. I can talk to them. Or best case, I get chatters and I get people joining the Discord, okay? Am I in the Discord? I am in the Discord. Okay, good. We've done everything right, I think. I think we've done everything right. We're on chapter 9 of Celeste. Okay, I've already beaten Celeste, to be clear, so this maybe isn't super hype. But I mean, I should have lied about that. This is a big accomplishment. But it's hard still. It's been a long time. And I've gotten rusty. And there's a moonberry that I didn't know existed at the time, so I've never gotten that. So there is some new content that I've never done. Good to see you. Let's Chief. How's it going? No, I got the day off today, brother. I got the day off. I usually am able to get Fridays off. That's why I have to work like 10 hours a day the rest of the week. So that still adds up to 40, and then I can take a freaking long weekend, baby. That's why I was so late. Up so late last night. I streamed till like 2 or something. Would not be doing that if I had to get up for work. I'm on my journey to becoming an exceptional white, Let's Chief, okay? Can't be fucking around like that. Oh, God. I hate that I'm on a thing that I have to actually think about. This is the worst time to do a stream when I have to think about what is going to change, because I'm not good at that. No, I'm not good at that at all. Is Horse doing a show this weekend, or is he like doing some debate debate stuff, Let's Chief? You know, my summer scent selection is on its way. Okay, so it'll show up in a couple of days. Have you tried any of them yet? But mine, yeah, mine is en route. I got a shipping notification about it, just like yesterday. It's supposed to be here, I think, on Monday. Oh, we got someone that joined. Who is that? It's Frankie. How's it going, Frankie?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How's the Panga? Is she about to fucking bust?
Okay, so baby's head down, so no C-section, hopefully. But the baby's head down. Let's see, she's going to be 37 weeks on Monday, and we'll see what happens. But from there, we're going to try to get the baby out.
You know, I think you should skip the whole doctor thing. And Frankie, I think you can just reach up on in there and just pull him out, you know? You gotta be a man about this thing. You're gonna let some woke doctor fucking deliver your baby? It's your baby, Frankie. You just reach in there, fucking take her out, get the tongs.
Oh, Jesus.
You gonna circumcise your kid? Asking the important questions. It is a confluence panel after all.
No.
Terrible times. Are you circumcised?
No.
Explains it. Fucking filthy Philistine.
There's a reason why. No. There's a reason why.
Oh, your peepee's just like too small, so they just can't do it. It's not a knife small enough.
Well, it's micro weenie.
Oh, so I was right. Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah.
Well, if you look at the Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 2, I believe that's what it is, right? Paul states that if you are not circumcised, it bid Christ nothing, because it's only by faith you are saved. Okay.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't get circumcised for religious reasons. You should just get it for like aesthetics and health and stuff.
Well, here's the kicker. If he is circumcised, then you are a debtor to the law. Meaning, what is
really?
saying that?
Why did Paul circumcise Timothy? You know, Paul circumcised Timothy, right? You know that?
Yeah,
that
I know.
Happens in the Book of Acts.
you become a debtor to the law. So now you're indebted to the law of Moses. So this is
So
all,
why would he make Timothy indebted to the law of Moses? That's an asshole thing for
because
Paul
he was
to do.
indebted. Yeah, because he was also indebted to the law of Moses as well. So then it's kind of like, well, I'm indebted, you're going to be too. So it's kind of like that asshole kind of thing. But with Bug, I didn't circumcise him either. So I'm keeping in that notion because it's only by faith you are saved. It's not by the law. It's by faith.
I'm not saying but Paul, I think, sorry. Paul's talking about like circumcising for the religious stuff. Paul's not, that's why he circumcised Timothy. He didn't do it for like religious reasons. He did it for at the top. I mean, Paul did it for like cultural things because he wanted them to like fit in with the Jews. That's why Paul did it.
But the problem is that doesn't matter in the eyes of God. It doesn't matter. You could do it aesthetically. You could do it for, fucking cultural reasons. That doesn't matter. To God is you're circumcised, you're indebted to the law. Period.
That's insane. That's insane. Why would you think God? Why would you think God would ever think that? Why are you indebted when you already left a tip? That's a good point. Let's cheap. But no, like, yeah, that's crazy. First of all, God obviously would care about the intent of you doing something. And second of all those passages are talking about getting circumcised because it was a big thing to think that you need to be circumcised to be like saved and stuff. That's the issue.
Well, true, but they're also, remember, it's also like it's a covenant. Circumcision is a covenant between God and Abraham. Because it's like, all right, this is the pact we made, and this is God. He's not breaking covenant. He's not breaking, the path. So he's sticking to it. So then I think that's where the misconstruing, the misinterpretations happening. But Paul is saying, look, if you are not circumcised, it doesn't matter. It's only by faith you are saved. But if you are circumcised, you're a debtor to the law because of said circumcision.
He's saying because presumably you're getting circumcised think that it's not just the act of like cutting off the skin. It's like if you're getting circumcised because you think it's going to make you a more holy person, which in a way it does. In a way.
No, not in a way.
Because cleanliness is next to godliness, Frankie. Okay.
Yeah, but then what about female circumcision? No, that's evil. That's harmful to the
that is evil body. You're right. Women and men are different. I thought you conservatives love talking about that. Okay. Women and men are not the same. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're trans, so I don't know what to tell you.
Them's fighting words, Frankie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, consider it. Okay. You can do all of this yourself. You can give birth at home, you can take the baby out and you can circumcise it. Okay, people have done it for thousands of years. I'm just saying, and keep your options open. Okay.
I'll keep the options open.
No, for my circumcision, my dad paid a rabbi like $20. Okay, that's actually a true story. That's a true story.
Oh, shit.
So I don't want big government to subsidize your circumcision. I think you should just pay out of pocket for that shit. It's not very expensive.
What a Jew.
I actually just found out as a rabbi like a week ago. I always thought it was a doctor that I got circumcised by. Hey, Futoy.
How's it going?
Yeah, you can buy a home circumcision kit on like Amazon, You watch like a tutorial, you get ChatGPT to help you.
I was sitting here having a snack and I put on the Con show and I thought, you know what? I want to get in on this circumcision conversation.
Are you circumcised?
No, hell no.
Of course not. He's fucking Irish. He shouldn't be allowed to get circumcised, okay? That's for the true whites. I'm just kidding.
You said you should get circumcised for health reasons. What health reasons?
Lower STDs. Also the cleanliness, less chance of AIDS. No, I didn't. No, I'm glad you asked. Not the moil. No. My dad was. I clarified when I found this out. Like very recently, I asked. I'm like, "Were you in the room for this?" And my dad's like, "Yeah." So I'm assuming there was no untoward practices, because I wanted to know that. I was like, "Did you leave me alone with this rabbi? What did he do to me? Is that the result of all my trauma?"
It's not about confidence, but like, every time you take a fucking shower, you pull the skin back of your fucking dick, and you fucking wash your fucking head of your fucking dick. Then there's no fucking dick cheese.
So
how
gross.
exactly? What's the science behind it stopping AIDS or helping to?
I'm not even sure, but I know it is true. Now, to be honest, the criticism of this is that in most, like, the studies where this is done is in like African countries. And so I think the argument is that, like, on the other side is that, yeah, for developing nations that don't have good like sanitary practices or like good technology and stuff, and have very little access to condoms, then yes, it makes a big difference in stopping the spread of STDs. But in westernized countries, apparently that's not like as noted. So there is studies, like, if you look this up, there is studies that talk about this, that it does reduce AIDS and stuff like that. I don't know why, but again, it seems to be mostly in backwater countries.
Yeah,
I think that's the technical term for them. Right, if you already have like all the STDs, then it doesn't really matter probably.
Yeah, but Futo already has AIDS, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's too late. Can't catch the same thing twice.
It's because he's Irish. That's why he has AIDS.
Actually, can you, if you have AIDS, and can the AIDS like stack? Like, is it like, can the debuff stack? Is I guess my question. Because they care about, if you have HIV, they like test you to see like your HIV counts, right? So if you have sex with someone who has HIV again, does that like number go up? Is my question.
It might.
Right,
so you eventually get some type of super AIDS, I guess is my follow-up question.
Here's the science. The inner foreskin contains a high concentration of immune cells, including CD4 T cells and Langerhans cells that HIV can infect.
I like that you say HIV. So fucking
That's
Irish. No, I'm saying like, no, I'm just saying your pronunciation. Like, I say HIV, you say HIV.
Well, yeah, the letter is called H.
H.
like tomato. Like tomato.
Yeah, like tomato.
Hey, Futo, when was the last time you masturbated?
Why, Frank? It's always about masturbation with Frankie. This was my mistake. I actually brought up penises, so I actually take fault. Usually it's Frankie, but I think Frankie just primes me because I know that's what he's gonna bring up. So I beat him to the punch.
Yeah. Well,
Because
he
I actually
asked,
brought up the circumcision thing.
So he asked, so I have to answer right now, Frankie.
All right, good. Lead off.
Whenever I hear your voice, Frankie, it just
the urge strikes.
Oh my god.
Futo, it's probably a reasonable time for you, finally.
Yeah. Is it true you can't masturbate when you're circumcised?
Yeah, it becomes physically impossible. That's why God mandated it, if you think about it.
Wait, God mandated it?
Circumcision, not masturbation, to be
Well,
clear.
fucker!
Oh, damn, no! Can I say, like St. Peter, I misunderstood?
You know what is odd? Is there's nothing in the Bible that is like talks about masturbation. They talk a lot about lust. The only thing is the story with Onan, but that's not, and people have used that. That's why like Onanism means masturbation. But it's the story where the Onan story is where Onan is supposed to like have sex with his like brother's wife to carry on the bloodline, and he like pulls out and cooms on her instead of in her. This is in the Bible. Fun fact. And then I think he's like killed for it or something because it's like a horrible thing. But and people will tie that into masturbation, but that's probably more about, or even the Catholics I think will use that to tie into like that you should only coom inside. But I think really the crime there is that he was having sex with his brother's wife to continue the bloodline on, and he was intentionally not getting her pregnant. That's the problem.
How could you continue a bloodline?
They point to Leviticus and I think that's the only passage is that one. I think. I don't like unless you know of another one. I think it's only the onanism one. I don't think there's anything that says like to don't spill your seed on the ground or don't do. I don't think there's anything like that. The only thing is when Jesus says if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. And then he goes on to talk about lust immediately after. And so maybe you can make a connection there. But it's weird that it would just never, because people must have been, I know they're like a Bronze Age civilization, but I feel like they must have had the tech to like figure that out, you know? Or did they really not unlock masturbation in like the tech tree? Maybe that's possible. I don't know.
No, maybe they had a term for it that we just don't get. Like, you know, we say spank your monkey, but maybe they have something like that that we don't get. Maybe it's
on that note, I had a youth pastor one time, and someone was asking him why did the Jews have the story about don't cook, there's a passage in the Bible that says don't cook a goat in its mother's milk. And so I don't know why someone's looking at that passage and they're like, why did the Jews have this thing? And then the youth pastor is like, that's a thing that you like shouldn't have sex with your family members, or you should have sex with your mom. And everyone's like, oh. And then I got older. I'm like, that's not what that passage is. Nothing. That's literally just saying you're not supposed to do that literal thing. So it's crazy that a youth pastor's like, you know what? I'm gonna give my weird Freudian interpretation of this passage and tell a bunch of kids this. Like, that's not what that passage is about.
Yeah, maybe their word was oh, what's fucking hell? It was just in my head. It's just gone.
Hey, Testy. Baptism. Baptism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that was the word. He baptized him. He what? In the Bible.
Yeah, GridCon is happening, and how do you know no one's been shot? Maybe it just hasn't been uploaded yet. Hopefully, nothing bad happens. Okay, to be very clear.
What? So we're expecting a shooting?
No. Testy's memeing, but there's a lot of like drama about who's fighting who because GridCon was happening, and Grid and Speakeasy have beef. So then Speakeasy wasn't naming the location of his event because he's like, people are gonna like do something.
Yeah, I tried talking him out of it, but he just wasn't having it.
You tried talking to who?
The other guy.
Grid?
What's his name? It begins with O, doesn't it? His channel name.
Who are we talking? Are we talking about Grid? The Unreasonable Man is his channel name?
Yeah, I think so. Is it like a robot as an icon, is it? Is it that guy?
No. He's got like glasses. He looks like that guy. Someone pointed it out. I can't remember who. He looks like the guy on Storage Wars, I think it is.
Well,
But
somebody was supposed to be fighting Speakeasy, and I tried talking him out of it. Just trying to explain it's all ego, it's all rah. But then somebody can get hurt. You can actually kill somebody with one punch. Did you know? And lots of people have died from one punch.
Yeah.
So over like silly ego and stuff, you're gonna risk killing somebody or being killed? Nah.
Yeah, I think it's all like talk. I don't think. I mean, I think it's good that Speakeasy didn't give the name of his event because people were threatening to like try to get his sponsors or like do various untoward things. Oh, Orthodox guy. Is that who you're talking about? OG?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Orthodox guy, yeah. He wants to fight him too. How many people want to fight in Speakeasy?
Oh, a lot. Speakeasy. It was all supposed to happen on the 4th of July. You know, maybe they meant next 4th of July. Speakeasy had so many fights lined up. It was crazy. But, you know. And there was a lot of talk about if the two of them see each other, what's going to happen? Is someone going to throw down? You know, so don't worry. Confluence will let you know. Well, more likely someone in my chat will let me know. And then I'll let all of you know. Okay.
Awesome. I'll stay tuned in.
Of course, Rage Page is cheating on me. Yeah. When it comes to Easy, she'll always pick me. But when it comes to Speakeasy, then I'm like, fucking, she's like, Confluence who? Confluence fucking who? Terrible times.
I'm 100% sure Rage Page is a guy. Is the guy in that video he showed us.
the Kirkian figure?
Yes, 100%. Just too much masculine energy.
Rage does have a lot of
But then again, Femmet has a lot of feminine energy, so that doesn't really mean anything, I guess.
Are you and Emmett still beefing?
Ever since the
karaoke that you're like, no, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that.
No, we never really liked each other, but I'm not beefing with him. He's beefing with me. which is fine. I
Emmett
get
was
the
fucking. I don't know if you were listening at all last night. It was probably pretty late. Emmett was like fucking starting to a really Fed post, man. He was saying some crazy stuff.
Fed post.
Fed post, like when
What's
you,
that?
like when you start, like basically in the way I'm
You're on
using
the
it.
fence about everything.
You're
You're on the fence about everything.
fed, like you're a fed, like I'm using it in a way like as in like advocating for violence or like saying something that's like a little like TOS in that way. He was saying some wild stuff that was really.
Oh, you cocksucker. Fucker. Fuck.
Yeah, I've already been told, Steel Man. Okay, everyone else is gonna come back. Everyone's gonna stop in and tell me about Rage's infidelity.
I mean, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind Emmett so much. You know, he probably thinks I do, but I don't really care. Like, I mean, but it happens to us all. This what you call Fed raging? Is it Fed raging?
Fed posting.
Fed posting.
Fudge rate, like fudge packing? Is it like fudge packing?
It's a fudge packing adjacent, I suppose. Who joined? Oh, it's Big Soda. Hey, Big Soda.
Hey, Big Soda. I was wondering, would you elaborate on when you told me that you're happy about the famine that killed 1 million people through starvation? How you're happy about it? 1845?
Does it spark you joy, Big Soda?
No mic, no sound, no sound. I don't hear him.
He's using AI. He's like Steelman that the Irish potato famine was actually coded.
No, my bad. I was muted. No, I'm 10 toes down. It's the greatest, like, top 3 greatest things to ever happen.
All right, so was 1 million people starving to death enough, or the more the better?
The more the better. I mean, it could jump up to number 2, but it's just the pure amount of people. Wait, are we on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck, you set me up.
We're in the channel that's called Live on YouTube. I don't know if I can make it more obvious, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, last time we were live on YouTube, we weren't live on YouTube.
Oh, I thought we were in the discussion one last time.
No. Remember, because everyone kept pointing out that it said live on YouTube, but we weren't really live on YouTube.
Whoops.
Okay, so I guess I'll walk it back.
How to earn the hate of 5 million?
Or wink, wink.
How to earn the hate of 5 million people
Like,
in
wink,
30
wink,
seconds?
Finally, you fuck yourself.
I do not express the opinions of Confluence or Confluence Chaos.
Finally, Confluence, you fuck yourself.
By the way, Frankie, congratulations.
Yo.
I think I heard you say the time is very, very soon.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Topanga was at the doctor's office today because I'm here at work right now. And you know, I'm gonna say this food toy. I don't care. Praise God that our young boy in there. I'm not gonna give out his name right now, but like our young boy in there, he's doing well.
Awesome.
He's head down. So no sign of C-section. So
awesome.
And I want to, and I'm gonna see if I can make this happen. But Topanga might murder me if I do. If she's giving birth on a day that Confluence is live, I'm gonna go on live while she's giving birth at the same time.
Awesome.
Hey, priority.
Does that live stream of the birth, a real close-up shot?
I want to see you cut the umbilical cord live
on down there.
I want to see if he like eat the umbilical cord with his teeth, like a real man, just fucking rip it, like a fucking dog.
Well, like Confluence, like it looks like a war zone down there. I don't want you to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either, man.
I'm gonna be honest. Both times I didn't look. I just don't want to see it. I don't care to see it. Fuck that. No.
I don't think you're ever gonna forget seeing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's like 10 years later, I'm gonna be tapping it, and I'm gonna look down, and I'm like, oh, it's barred.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good.
Good time. When are you gonna have kids?
When am I going to have kids?
Yes.
I have hundreds of kids, man.
He's already been through menopause.
Can you even have kids, Futori? Or you're like, it's like if your ovaries like all wound up and shit.
Oh, you mean actually give birth? You mean not actually father
Sure.
kids? You mean give birth? Yeah, no. Irish people don't give birth. We
Uh-oh.
divide.
Happy birthday to Papa Testy.
We just
Great
divide.
Grandpappy
Happy birthday,
Testy.
Daddy Testy. Oh, Grandpappy Testy. The ones that fought in World War One and committed all those atrocious.
All those Canadian war crimes, yeah.
You know, YouTube wouldn't. I doubt they'd allow a birth on YouTube, right? It must go against the toss. But what could they say? They couldn't call it porn. They couldn't call it violence.
Well, I think
what would they ban it on?
you could. My guess is you could probably find birth videos on YouTube if it's for educational stuff. Because they do allow some forms of nudity if it's educational. On a live stream, I don't think they'd ever allow that.
Well, like-
but nudity in general is banned on YouTube unless there's some educational reason. So you could probably Google a
Well,
birth
hold
video
on.
and probably see some shit.
Wait, hold on.
But
Like,
not
let
on a
me
live,
see,
I don't
like-
think.
Hold on. Let me see if this is a Mandela effect. Do you guys remember Volume 15 when you were in school?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Volume 15 of what?
Like, hold on, Soda. Do you remember Volume 15?
I'm not allowed to talk about
It's
it.
like, huh?
I'm not allowed to talk about it because I'm on the inside of the Mandela effect, so I can't talk about
you
it.
motherfucker. You
Oh my God!
motherfucker.
I have found giving birth videos on YouTube. Holy shit!
I told you it's because of its educational exception. But again, I don't think
Oh
that
my
extends
God.
to lives. There's
Is
different
there
stuff for
Mandela?
lives.
Yeah, because I think there's a graphic image filter that's on live that will flag something the moment it like picks up on graphic images, and I don't
Yeah.
know if that's the same with like actual content based videos or like just normal videos.
Well, actually, here is a live of somebody giving birth. You see the head coming out and everything.
Don't delete it. Delete it from
Oh
the thing.
my
I see.
God.
Delete that. Fuda. That's not allowed. That's against Discord stuff. Delete that.
Oh, is it?
Damn
It's
you,
against, it's
Uh,
against my Discord stuff.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So definitely delete that.
Damn you, Futoy.
Sorry.
I would say that could probably qualifies as not safe for work.
But it's on YouTube. YouTube's way worse than Discord, isn't it?
No, I'm saying
No,
like
in certain
I
areas,
say my
it's
Discord
not
is like
good.
safe for work, so it might be allowed on YouTube, but I still don't want stuff
I
that's
see,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I don't want
now.
someone to
Okay,
like go
okay.
on and like, oh, woman giving birth in our office computer or something, you know.
Okay,
In
sorry about that.
context, me and Brandon are posting videos of people driving, and then all of a sudden there's a birth video.
Yeah, manager, don't fire that person. It was my bad. But it's a bit weird that you would hate birth videos, manager. I want to speak to your manager.
It's not so much that they hate it. It's the fact that they also have to advertise toward kids, and it's kind of hard to advertise toward kids if you're filled with videos of people giving birth.
Or like having sex with each other.
Yeah, it's why they explicitly make a delineation of like 18 plus servers and just normal servers.
A digital
Is
format.
giving birth 18 plus?
You say what?
Is giving birth considered 18 plus?
Yeah.
Why?
Possibly, yes.
Because if you're showing the act of giving birth, you're showing nudity, and yes, it's for art, but you can't just go up to kids and show kids nudity for the sake of art.
No, because
That
I
was
remember in
the-
science class, dude. I remember in science class they showed what's called Volume 15 was a sex ed video where they showed people having sex. I was in middle school
Crazy,
when they
Frank.
showed that shit.
They showed
That's
you like
crazy.
porn? Like that's what you're saying?
I guess, like it was called Volume 15.
But if you Google
Unless
it,
it's
you
a
can't
fucking
find it.
Mandela effect.
Google
unless it's a
15,
Mandela
Friends are trying to groom you.
like volume 15 of what? Backdoor sluts?
I have no idea. It said volume 15.
I consider childbirth a miracle, like the miracle.
No.
I consider it an
I agree with
abomination.
that. But it's just kind of like there's things in which you have to be careful just openly showing children, and
Yeah.
That's
if it
true.
involves a vagina and a baby coming out of a vagina, that's probably not something
Yeah, I
you should go
guess.
around just showing the kid.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But I think you could probably get charged. Like, let's say you're in a trench coat and you've got inside the trench coat a bunch of pictures of women giving birth, and you run up to a child and flash them with a trench coat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get arrested.
Well, I think if you flash
You want to
anything,
buy some birth videos?
wait, that's not normal.
No, not in America. I don't know what y'all do in Ireland, but America.
Oh,
that's-
But it's not allowed here in America.
yeah, we
America.
we
America.
put those people in prison unless they're our president, and then we just kind of look the other way.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should look the other way and shit. Unless they're like in politics or they're rich, then we look the other way.
Yeah, if you're named Jeffrey Epstein or you're associated with Jeffrey Epstein, we just kind of
Still get a pass.
accidents happen. Yeah, accidents happen.
Boys,
I can
boys will be boys, you know.
Yeah, you know, boys will be boys.
If you're gathering information for the Jewish Secret Service, then it's all okay.
Do you guys hear that another
yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein like victim died under mysterious circumstances?
No way.
I wonder why.
Yeah, this happened like a couple days ago. A
Of
lot
course.
of strange deaths going on, you know. Think about it.
Lot of
Between that and
strange-
Boeing, I mean, like, you know, that's like gotta be like a million people. Goys will be goys. True, Brandon. Goys will be goys.
Well, you know, food toys will be food toys.
I'm gonna fucking steal that. Like I steal everything from Brandon. Absolutely stealing that.
Yeah, Brandon, you should
Yeah,
trademark
yeah.
it before you said that.
Yeah, you could have sold that to me for so much money, Brandon.
I've heard you use that term before. What does it mean? I assume it's a Jewish thing. Goy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No, it actually means the opposite.
Yeah, it's a
mean,
but it's a
non-Jewish.
Jewish term for non-Jews. So that's what they call like the non-Jewish people. They call them goyim.
thought it-
Goyim is the plural.
It doesn't sound like a nice thing.
It doesn't. It certainly doesn't sound nice, but
It's
they
not
would say it's
inherently
just.
bad. It's
Yeah, they
not
would say it
inherently
just
bad.
means like it just means non-Jew. But
Yeah,
it's,
like-
it has it hits a certain way. Goy. It doesn't sound nice, but I don't think it's inherently meant to be bad.
Hold on, we should call ICE real quick.
Some people translate it like nation, like a non-Jewish nation, or like a non-Jewish country, or it could be used to describe cattle. So yeah, you know, you
See,
get it.
Gentile doesn't hit the same. I don't mind being called a Gentile. You know, that's fine.
You're a fucking Gentile.
Yeah,
So
see, that's
if-
fine. It does sound like genital, I guess, but
I
it also
am
sounds like
gentle.
gentle. Yeah.
So if there's like two Jewish people in the countryside, and one goes, "Look at those goy," and the other Jewish person goes, "You mean the people or the cattle?" Could that happen?
It could happen, but both Jews would instantly know what you mean, because it's kind of like one of those words that, like, it may have meant something back then, but now it's synonymous with a non-Jew. So they would
like
probably
maybe
assume.
maybe that's like some etymology, but it's not like when they talk about cows they use the word goy now or anything.
Probably. But like, you're a gaijin though. In Japan, you're a gaijin. You gaijin.
Does that mean like non-Japanese?
I think so. But see,
Or it
but
could
like the
mean
problem
the
is,
N-word.
yeah. But the problem is, we have to call ICE though, because we have some weird fucking mixed Irish dude in our chat.
Mixed.
I thought Food Toys, the way he talks and acts and his IQ levels, I thought he was full-blood Irish.
Thank you, Tom Flynn. Thank you so much. I don't often get complimented like that.
Are you full blood Irish or are you like Scottish Irish?
No, I'm not full blood Irish, but I'm not Scottish Irish either.
Oh,
but
see, he's a mix. He's a mutt. He's a mutt.
yeah, but
What do you mixed with?
Scottish and Irish
right.
are the same people. You know that. They're not any different.
Tell
They're
that to a
both-
Yeah,
Scotsman.
they are different.
I understand
Yeah,
your
yeah.
reason
They're
for
two
wanting
different
that to be
islands.
true, but
Scotland means land of the Irish. Don't you know?
Blah, 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 blah.
that sounds like something a fucking Irishman would say.
No, it's true.
You know, if you think about it, Scotland actually means land of the Irish people. It's like, okay.
Or else it's the other way around. Or else Ireland means land of the Scottish. I can't remember. Let me ask.
One of the
Let
two.
me ask my good old friend ChatGPT. No, Scotland means land of the Scots, obviously, and the Scots are.
That checks out, actually. That makes more sense.
And we're both Celtic people, and apparently, Celtic people migrated up from Spain originally. Funny enough.
That checks out.
Yeah, swear.
How am I supposed to freaking do this part?
Wait, what are you playing?
Playing Celeste.
Wow. That sounds fantastic. Fun.
This is the game that me and Emmett were
Yeah.
having that speed run off on.
Yeah, the game you've probably beaten like 58 different times.
I've only beaten this once before, like this thing I'm doing now, and it was a long time ago, which is why I don't remember how to fucking do it.
Confluence. Have you ever played Lemmings?
I think I played it for the PSP.
Think
a
so.
long time ago.
It's really
Was it-
good.
Let me look. Actually, I'll look that up. Isn't that like on like NES?
I don't even remember what.
Is
what
it, is it that old? I thought there was like a PSP like version to it.
There might be.
The original one was yeah, I'd say it's very hard to beat. It's like this sort of graphics. One lemming fires an arrow, another lemming. All the lemmings do different things, and you have to get all the lemmings from one side of the screen to here without that.
Yeah, see, that's
It kind
what I
of looks like
remember.
Worms when I look at. Have you ever seen Worms?
yeah, Worms is something similar, but not as good. You have to
I
really
was
use your
gonna say,
mind with lemmings on the harder
I think the
stages.
Worms is a little different because isn't that like a multiplayer game? Like, aren't you playing real people?
We used to do
it
that.
Can there's like both. There's like
Oh,
there's like single player, and I think it depends on the version.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Worms on the
Stardust.
go.
Yeah, Stardust was on Grid's poster. That's Testy's girl. He mods for her.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, she got rated by Destiny and had like 1,000 concurrents yesterday, which is crazy.
Fucking Destiny.
Wow, Destiny's bringing.
Destiny's like it's like food toys like spirit animal. Destiny's like food toy spirit animal or some shit like that.
This is why we call Testy Destiny, okay? Because now
Yeah.
he's officially connected to Destiny, and I
Is
can
he
say that
one
because I know
phone
he's
call
not in
away?
chat. So
Like, was it one orbit away?
No,
yeah,
I don't like
degrees
Destiny.
of Destiny. He's like 1 degree away from Destiny, which is crazy.
No, I don't like Destiny because he bad-mouthed the Confluence, I think, didn't he?
Destiny?
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Confluence
Destiny.
would love that.
Yeah,
He
I
would
wish
love that,
Destiny would
but,
badmouth me. Don't threaten me with a good time. No, I don't think Destiny would know who I am or have any way of knowing who I am. He spurred at me in chat
no.
in his chat before, way back in the day, but that's the closest I've come.
He is 1 degree away from you, though, Confluence. Because remember, he spurred on Tyler.
I'm 1 degree away from Destiny in a lot of ways, because like I know Wick. I've debated Andrew Wilson, although Andrew Wilson probably forgets me.
Yeah,
So
he
there's
probably
a
forgot you
few
anyway.
ways. I was just talking to Katie, and Katie has debated Destiny. So I have a lot of 1 degrees from Destiny.
Wait, what did him and Katie debate about?
Israel and Hassan and stuff.
That fuck Hassan, that communist fuck. Fuck Hassan, that bitch.
This actually reminds me.
He gets fucked
I
in
don't-
the ass.
I don't know if you remember this, Confluence, but you remember the conversation we were comparing, like, who would be better to support, Destiny or Hassan? Who did you say?
Neither.
If I'm remembering, because that to me is an easy answer. I'm remembering, unless we're talking about different times, the thing where everyone's giving me shit, where I said I'd rather a random person be a Destiny fan than an Andrew Wilson fan.
Oh, motherfucker.
That's what got me shit. With Destiny or Hassan,
Yeah.
that's easy. Obviously, that you should be a Destiny fan over fucking Hassan.
See, I don't know. I understand why you would say that, but it's like
Hey, guys.
with Hassan, I don't think. Yeah.
I gotta go to a meeting, so I gotta let you guys go. Later, guys.
All right.
Well, have fun
Thanks,
at your
Frankie.
AA meeting.
See you later, Frankie.
Yeah, I know, right? Later, guys.
Later.
Like I understand why you'd say that, Confluence, but I think I'm gonna lean. I would rather you be a Hassan fan.
Over Destiny?
Wait, hear me out. So this is a logic I'm applying, because to me, a Hassan fan is kind of they're not Destiny. There's kind of an intentional evilness that I see with Destiny. So like the things Destiny engages with, I think there is the knowledge, the evil intent, the disingenuous. And it's like with Hassan, it just reminds me of a fucking like what's the word for a nimwit. And it's like what scares me more is someone who's more, I guess, who would be more intelligent enough, but still is okay with being disingenuous.
But isn't Destiny a Temu version of Confluence? Timu version of Confluence?
You have that backwards.
Yeah, I'm Team Destiny, unfortunately.
For
I
now,
know my
maybe.
lot in life, okay? I'm like a Timu right-wing version of Destiny. Kind of
right.
like Chief, Big Soda. He's not gonna fuck you, bro. Hassan's not gonna fuck you, okay?
Yeah, he probably won't. And to be honest, I don't want him to. But it's kind of like with me, Hassan reminds me of an Asmongold. It's like an Asmongold. A lot of people are gonna follow him, but I don't think he has the most informed or well thought out ideas. It's all surface level. But it's like if we were to compare that to Andrew Wilson, if I would rather someone be an Asmongold fan if I was on the opposite side than an Andrew Wilson fan, because an Andrew Wilson fan, if I feel he's disingenuous, there's a lot deeper, I guess, understanding of the disingenuousness, the, I guess, evil things that I think he says, or the well thought out, I guess, explanations of his positions. And that scares me more than just someone who turns Asmongold on and just kind of casually watching as they're playing games.
Okay, okay, first of all, I gotta address Mel. Mel, I will beat your cheeks, not in like a weird way, at freaking Celeste, okay? In the same way I almost did with Emmett, although he got the upper hand, but I won 1 out of 3. But I would destroy you. You name the Celeste category, I promise you. I know you're trans, and the creator of this game is trans, and so maybe you get a little bit of a boost or something. I don't know how that works. But I would absolutely destroy you. But with Hassan, I hear what you're saying. Like, I think Destiny is more maybe sneaky, intentional. Hassan is just, too kind of dumb, in the same way that Asmongold is like kind of too dumb. Where it's like, yeah, they're just gonna say kind of the talking points. But I do Mario Kaizo. Are you fucking kidding? That's how my channel started, Mel, okay? Now that's Mario 64, but, so don't even talk to me about that. But I think that the thing is, Destiny, yeah, he's more sneaky, so he can maybe onboard somebody who maybe isn't going to be like as extreme, and he can maybe like subtly convince them more. But Hassan, like, the open calls for like violence, like all the clips we've seen, right? Where it's like, let the streets run red with the blood of landlords, and like that people should go and kill Rick Scott and all this shit. Like, and Destiny has those moments as well, obviously, but I think his community is more likely to be like, that's a little unhinged. Whereas when Hassan says that, you see his fucking chat, they like light up, they fucking love it. They're fucking bloodthirsty. They want more of it. So that scares me. Like even when he was talking to Ethan Klein, Hassan's community, I would say, is far worse than Hassan is. Like, cause Hassan is like debating Ethan Klein, and Hassan's being a bit nasty, but his like chat and his Discord are being like so like dangerously anti-Semitic in that like scary, tanky kind of way of like anti-Semitism, where it's like the pro-Hamas kind of way. And it's like, so I just think that the audience he's cultivated is so, and that has to mean something, right? If the stuff is that Hassan's saying is obviously pulling super radical people in a way that Destiny isn't, and so that would be my counter, I guess. I just think it's way
That's
too.
Fair. Like I said, I understand where you're coming at from it, because Hassan, like, I think Hassan generally supports more radical ideologies than Destiny. I guess the problem I see with Destiny is the same problem that you would say with the left and right wing. With the left wing, I see more cases of violence, but with the right wing, it's more efficient, it's more deadly, it's kind of there's more of a precision with it, and it's like with Destiny's, I see the precision. Like I watched through when Rob brought Destiny's Discord mod on, and he was talking about how the Discord's kind of becoming crazy. It's becoming super radicalized. There's a lot of stuff that like violates TOS that just gets swept under the rug and stuff like that. And it's like that's kind of what scares me. Is it's a little bit more precise. It's more intense. It's more dangerous. But with Hassan, you're just collecting a lot of these radicals in one place. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So I do see what you're saying. I think it is more insidious. But I guess the Destiny stuff, it's like, I think it's more like, even in the Rob North stuff, I think a lot of the stuff is still a bit secondary in where this stuff is happening. Like, so Hassan's crazy stuff is happening right in his chat. It's very on its face. Destiny's chat, I don't get that vibe. It's like, because it's one thing to be like, to watch somebody. It's another thing to like go on their subreddit all the time or be in the Discord all the time. It's like you are a different level of fan at that point than just like a casual watcher of Destiny. And so it's like, so yeah, in the underbelly of Destiny, the diehard DGGers, it's like, yeah, they could be like fucking crazy. And I think that's what that mod is talking about. But Hassan's stuff in the Discord is like illegal, basically, and like the incitements to violence. And then the stuff that's in the chat is already like disgusting and deplorable.
Where it's like, compare these two instances. So Hassan's kind of been more blunt and kind of reckless when his, you know, radical statements of like the Rick Scott stuff or the bringing the Hamas member on or
with a Houthi
like
guy,
and it's like, but with Destiny's, this is a sneakiness with it because you got the Corey Competore comments, you have kind of this hidden viciousness behind Destiny where I'm like, damn, bro, that's scary because this guy's appealing to the moderates. This guy's appealing to more of the center crowd, but yet there's this little, I guess to use leftist term, dog whistle, it seems like, to where he's still kind of calling for a more radical response, but he's just being a lot smarter with it than Hassan.
Yeah. And I do take that point because, yeah, I think, you know, to quote John Zerka, right, there is a permission structure that Destiny creates, I think, where people, they join, they're moderate. And as Mel said, there is some onboarding that happens. I like that Mel just can't like be like, hey, you know, you could call it onboarding. She has to be like, oh, she deleted her message. Oh no, she deleted a different message. Never mind. But it's like there's a Destiny will, because people watch him, they're like, this guy's kind of moderate. And so I understand what you're saying, because if you see someone as, oh, this guy's like nuanced and moderate, and then he says something insane about like the firefighter stuff or about the Trump rally and all this whatever, and then people are like, wait, that's okay to say? Wait, I can still be nuanced and be also fucking unhinged and like Fed post? Okay, great. I guess that's what we're doing now. Because Destiny's even called this out in a positive thing, that he'll say his audience like takes the lead off of him. Like he points it out in a positive way when he's like, oh, I said to my, you know, I directed my audience to try to be nicer toward women because I felt like people were taking the misogyny jokes like too seriously, or that I stopped saying like calling things gay, and you know my audience kind of picked up the cue. So, but what he fails to realize, or maybe he does realize secretly, but he won't admit, is then that works in toxic ways too, right? If you're creating permission structures where you're like fucking Fed posting and calling for violence and celebrating the deaths of people, that it's like that your audience is going to take that as well, you know?
Yeah. And
wow, how crazy to say if you actively support an insurrection, you're fucking around and might find out. Let's Chief, you know, it's funny because then you obviously don't know what he said. He said that he said all of you conservatives, even the ones in my audience, he said, if you go to a Trump rally and you get shot, I'll be making fun of you on Twitter. I'll be laughing about your death. That is not just like, oh yeah, if you go and actively support this, you could. If that's all he said, that would be like trashy, but it's still fucked up. But he said so much more than that. He said, I made a whole video on this. He said insane stuff.
The Corey one was pretty crazy because this was almost immediately after this situation happened. So it's like it's like this to say that person deserved to die is a fucking wild phenomenon because it's like I mean that's only a couple degrees away from saying, hey, well, why don't I be the person to say that that person gets to die and then go make that action.
Soda, what about saying you're happy that a million people starved to death?
Hey,
What about that?
I didn't say I was any better.
I didn't say I was any better.
But it's kind of like, look, I guess to be honest, Food Toy, if I was a bigger streamer, that I would really have to think about making the jokes, the same jokes that I make now. I would have to be very careful with because of the fact that people will take that and, you know, actually do stuff about it where it could create like I guess more racist response.
Pause though. Like there's something there, but like let's not deny the basic fact too that if you're saying something about the Irish, like what you said, no one watching is like, yeah, Big Soda actually wants the Irish family. Nobody. It's fine to make jokes when your audience knows it's a joke. But with Destiny, it's not a joke. He's not even trying to say it's a joke. He's like doubling down and getting mad and fighting with Wick when Wick is trying to call him back. Let's Chief, I think, is just being completely dishonest. To be honest, I think Let's Chief, you're being completely dishonest, or you haven't seen the clips. If you've seen him talk to Wick about it when Wick is trying to pull him back from the edge and he's like, oh fucking yeah, one less, it was a fucking swing state, yeah, all I see is +1 and whatever state that was, you know, like that's the stuff he was saying was like absolutely wild. It wasn't just like oh fuck around find out. It wasn't a reap what you sow. Like all the way you're condensing it is either dishonest or you just have not seen what Destiny was posting on Twitter or saying to Wick or saying in his live, which is fine. Maybe you just haven't seen it. If you have seen it, I think you're fucking lying right now if you're condensing it in that way.
I haven't seen it. What do you guys think of the insurrection? Remember the insurrection thing?
Yeah. What specifically about it?
What?
I said, what specifically like about it? Are we just saying just the protest? Like, are we calling the whole protest the insurrection, or just the people that went in the Capitol?
All of it.
I mean, the protest is fine. I think Trump's statements are fine. I think like once you start to get to the actual physical altercation of people barging into the Capitol, that's to me that's the part I have to denounce and say that none of that was justified. Even though some people
you're such a fucking degenerate, man. You're such a degenerate. Sorry.
I think the charges were fine. I think there was some sketchy stuff when it came to some people's charges, some people's like sitting in jail before they were I guess gone through the court system for like misdemeanors and stuff like that. But overall, I would say that I think they got what was coming to them for the insurrection of the people actually entering the Capitol.
Did Trump pardon them? He said he would. Yes, he did. What was it like?
Yeah,
did they get it? Get out of jail? Or did they serve the whole time and then he pardoned them? What's the story?
No. They're all out of jail.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Some of them had like 25-year sentences.
Yeah, every case was pardoned.
Yeah, every single one. Yeah.
But didn't some people die? Like, wasn't there like murder?
No.
Ashley Babbitt was murdered.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt was killed by the police or the National. I don't know, not National Guard. I can't remember if it was State Police or Capitol Police. I guess.
I think it was Capitol Police.
Let's Chief. Okay, fine. I'll be more specific. I'm saying I think it's degenerate to call pearl clutching when someone's like celebrating death and advocating for violence. Yeah, I will clutch pearls over that. I think for you to condense what Destiny did in the way you are, I think is degenerate. And my mind's not off. And I hold the same thing. Like when Mel, I feel like both you, like you guys are here long enough to know this. I hold the same stance. I was completely against when people are like celebrating like Renee Good's death or Preddy's death. Same when people will celebrate George Floyd's death. I think that's fucked up. Like I don't think you should do that at all in any of these cases. I don't think it's good to like celebrate death.
Even the Trump tweet.
How am I celebrating ICE? Like it's one thing if I'm pro ICE and I'm like ICE is fine. If you don't think Destiny's advocated for violence, that's insane. You You just haven't watched enough Destiny, I guess, which maybe is to your credit, but then at least be honest about that, or say you're a dishonest hack right now when you're trying to say that he's not advocating for violence, because that's fucking crazy. Even the fucking mod that Big Soda mentioned was talking about how the stuff Destiny's saying is so like unhinged that it's like causing the community to like openly go crazy. Yeah, you gave me yeah, Destiny says fine things. Where are the clips you said? Well, first of all, I already said I have a video of it. So I'm playing fucking Celeste right now. I have a little video on my YouTube channel that goes through all the clips. So if you want to see the clips, it's actually on my YouTube channel. I have a whole thing.
Holy shit, more than 140 law enforcement officers were injured, including officers from the U.S. Capitol Police. Holy shit, 140 were injured.
Yeah, but yeah, a bunch of people were injured. There's like 4 people that died. I think a couple of them were like meth overdoses. There was that one police officer that died. I think he was hit in the head and then had a heart attack like the next day or 2 days later. That some people connect.
Yeah, he was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher, and I think he went into cardiac arrest, I think 2 or 3 days later. And there's 2 different autopsies that say you can prove it's related, and the other one says, I don't know how that other person proved it was related. So it's kind of conflicting. But it was a bad event, Victoria. I'm not trying to downplay it. Like, it should have never happened. But I also think the pardon's justified. Because I think if you look at American history, generally when we have these political riots or like political moments where you have like this huge political upheaval or unrest, typically mass pardons will be enacted upon, kind of like the Civil War and general stuff like that. So I think the precedent is set that generally we pardon these mass political crimes and riots and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the pardoning, the mass pardoning is crazy. I understand some of the charges were wild, but yeah, just pardoning people that were like, because not to be a bit lefty, but I would say J6 was mostly peaceful in the same way that BLM riots are mostly peaceful. Now, it's a meme to say, but it's also like kind of true. It's like, yeah, most people at both things are not there to do harm. There's a small amount of people that are doing like most of the violence, like in any event. And those people, to pardon them seems crazy. The people that were openly attacking law enforcement, for example, it's like, why would we pardon them? Maybe if you want to like commune some of their sins or something, because if they're given like 25 years and you're like, that's crazy. But like, yeah, to like just be like, oh yeah, you guys are all like out of jail. And do you remember when Trump? Do you remember that January 6th choir thing that he did with all the people in jail? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like, what are you doing, Trump?
Well, I could understand. Like, to me, if he wouldn't have pardoned, I guess, the more violent crimes, I could understand it. But I don't think I disagree with his decision to ultimately pardon everyone that was involved. It's one of those things to where, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of precedent for stuff like that, and I think if he were to do it, he would not be doing something crazy out of the norm.
Pardoning them is advocating for violence more than what Destiny has said or done. I don't deny that. I don't know. I don't know why you feel the need to think my brain is off here. I feel like I'm holding a very consistent standard, Let's Chief. I think that Destiny is clearly, I think, advocating for violence. And I think what Trump is doing is advocating for violence. I think when Trump, I've said this so many times, right? The Rob Reiner stuff, who's the other guy? Who?
Oh, I was gonna bring up the tweet with
who's the FBI guy that? Who's the fuck? What's his name? No, the prosecutor guy. I can't think of his fucking name right now. The guy that's just like, good, I'm glad he's dead. Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard.
It's not Comey. He's older than Comey.
Mueller?
Yeah, Robert Mueller.
Yeah, Robert Mueller. Yeah, like I thought that's fucked up. I think that's a very shitty thing. So I think I'm pretty consistent. I don't think it's a fair accusation to think that I'm like just like one-dimensional on this. I've fought with people on my channel a million times when people are like celebrating the deaths of like the people who died during like the ICE stuff. It's one thing to say like, oh, was this a fair kill or not, to analyze that. That's fine. But to just to like carry water for like violence and stuff like that, I don't fuck with that on either side.
No, I was gonna say, you've got a lot of shit for your take on Freddy.
Yeah, that was like so many streams, and most conservatives were against me on that.
You don't like Freddy Krueger?
No, Freddy, Fretti, something like that.
I can't remember what his first name was now.
Is it Alex?
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah, that one was horrifying.
Yeah, and like the amount of people that were like totally fine with that, I at least understand the Renee Good one. You know, we don't have to retread the whole thing, but I think the difference between saying I understand why this happened, you know, but the Destiny thing I think is fucked. And I think Mel and Leschief, I think you're so cucked right now in thinking that like that's somehow justified. That like, first of all, not everyone at a Trump rally is like pro the insurrection. Like I could see myself going to a Trump rally, even like just as a thing to do, as an event to go to, and you can still support somebody without supporting all their actions. And even if you did support that, to think that you deserve to like just get caught with a stray bullet is fucking unhinged. Like I wouldn't say that about a Hamas rally. If there's a Hamas rally, like an actual Hamas rally in America, and people are like, which there have been, and you know, and some like crazy person decides to go and try to like unalive people, and someone dies, I wouldn't have the reaction Destiny had. And that's like a Hamas. That's like you're Hamas. Like that's like far worse than I think J6, and I still wouldn't have that.
So I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. So you're against the death penalty then?
No, I'm not against the death penalty.
Isn't that the same thing?
No. What in what way?
Because you wouldn't want death to a Hamas person who's obviously a terrorist.
No, I would. Right? No, I would want death to a Hamas person who's obviously a terrorist. I'm saying at a rally that's pro-Hamas in America, some 20-year-old Zoomer who doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and they have the keffiyeh on, and they're like chanting that global antifada. I don't want them catching a bullet, and I wouldn't fucking celebrate that. You know what I mean? Like even in that extreme case where you're celebrating something I think is so deplorable, I still wouldn't be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck that person. I hope more of them get shot, and I'll make fun of more of them if they do get shot. I personally, that's like a moral line, and which Leschief, I guess, is going to call it pearl clutching. I think it's fine to clutch the pearls if it's an actual issue that you think that you take like moral, that you have like a moral problem with. Pearl clutching to me is like, you don't actually think this is wrong, you're just pretending. I'm not pretending. I actually find it pretty disgusting when people like will openly celebrate like, you know, acts of like terrorism and stuff. Like that's not. He didn't justify or say it was deserved. He said it's mockable, reaping what they sow. I'm really curious if you do watch my video. You can skip all the parts of me talking. It's just I feel like I did a good job of like collecting tweets and clips in that. I'd really be interested here. You're flounder. How am I flounder? What? Join the Discord, Leschief. I'll rip your fucking balls off, brother.
Hey, whoa! No calls to violence now.
Like you're saying I'm floundering while you're chirping in the chat. You can just join and talk to me, okay? We can have a discussion about this.
Now, I was gonna say, for especially like political violence, and this is excluding any type of like war scenario. I have to clarify in case someone throws it in there. But in any political violence scenario, I'm pretty sure I've heard you consistently say, like, call it out and say that you don't support it in any way. Even if you were the minority opinion in that.
I mean, I hope that's the impression I've left.
It's the impression I have.
Mel says if Hassan took that back, would you have no issue? Hassan would have to take so many things back. I mean, brother just dressed up in a Mao cosplay for his like fucking speech that he did. That happened like 3 days ago or something. Like he was posing with the fucking you know, the red book that he was given in China. Like the amount of like insanity that Hassan has said, you'd have to take so much back. Destiny, Destiny would have to apologize for very few things. I think the NordVPN joke, I think, was like really egregious. I understand that was just a joke. I don't think Destiny wanted like Texas girls to die. If you remember that, that was on the back of the flood that happened in Texas that killed a bunch. And he said that God decided to kill them because I can't remember what he said, because of the Texas porn ban or something. And it was like, it was a fucked up thing, but at least it's like, okay, it's a joke. A fucked up joke still. But with Destiny, it's like, he's not stupid, so he's not being like, guys, go out and kill people. Of course he's not saying that, but it's like, he'll openly be talking about, like, you know, like, he'll openly like be ranting about stuff and be like, oh, I can't say what I want to say because that'd be Fed posting. But it's like, so that's a TOS friendly way of just actually Fed posting, right? If I'm like talking about wanting to do harm and I'm like, oh, I gotta stop myself, I can't say my true thoughts here, then everyone knows what I was gonna say, right? It's like when that guy, that black guy that was talking about Destiny, I can't remember his name, and he's like, he like mutes his mic and then he like says a bunch of shit, but people can read his lips. It's like everyone knew what he was saying even without the lip reading, that he was talking about, you know, killing Destiny. And it's like, so yeah, it's a, if that's your line of argument, Let's Chief, is that it's not like, it's not like direct calls to like go and do this, then I would agree with you. It was enough that he got demonetized off of Twitter. All this shit has been enough that he got demonetized off of YouTube because it's so unhinged.
Is he still on Twitch?
No, he's been banned from Twitch forever because he called people subhuman or something. But Twitch just hates him. But no, Let's Chief. Okay, I know. Yeah. I don't, again, I hope you're hearing what I'm saying now, because yeah, if you're looking, again, I think he's smart enough to not say the quiet part super out loud, but all of that stuff to me is justification. Like, yeah, is there a quote where he's like, everyone should go and do this? No, you know, I don't think so. But there's enough stuff where it's like, yeah, obviously this is like an advocation. It's crazy to say that's obviously his underlying message, maybe internet decades, and that's the moderate is over dramatic and hyper violent speech because he's from an older, less soy generation. Well, I don't know what that means. How does that address my point? Yeah, he moderate. If you're about to say something hyper violent and you're like, guys, I can't say what I truly want to say, then the implication toward hyper violence is very clear. It's just in a TOS friendly way. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give someone moral points because they're trying to not get their channel banned, right? If someone like comes on my panel and they clearly want to advocate for like a genocide and they're just like, well, I can't say it, but everyone knows what they're about to say, you don't get moral points for that. You're just like respecting TOS and not trying to get a channel fucked. But morally, if you think that, you think that. I mean, he was asked on Adam 22's podcast if he had a button and he could just kill Trump instantly. He's like, yeah, of course I would. You know, and I don't, maybe you could say it's a joke. I don't think it really is. I think he would hit that button. Mel, you're the lowest hanging thing to argue with. Are you kidding me? Jelly of competent Hassan is the least. Destiny is way more politically competent than fucking Hassan is. That's crazy. I too am jelly of competent political influence, since I am not one. The fact that you think Hassan is a competent political influencer is crazy. What he wants to say doesn't mean what he wants or expects to happen. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, like if you say kill your, yeah, KYS, F-slur, and the internet, you aren't wanting someone to actually die. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in like the Wick thing. Have you seen the Wick thing, Let's Chief? Because I don't know what you've seen. And so maybe we're just talking past each other. Wick is trying to like, and this, I give a lot of points to Wick for this. Wick was like trying so hard to talk him down and be like, you shouldn't do this. You're causing like a bad thing to happen here by celebrating this and mocking this and saying all these cruel things. And Destiny is just like losing his mind, spurging out. He's not in a jocular way. It's not like meant to be taken lightly. No, see, yeah, Coughlin says literally want to rip my balls up. Yeah, does that, again, if you're fucking autistic, Let's Chief, if you watch the Wick thing and you think that that's just like a joke, that's the equivalent of someone being like, yeah, kill yourself. You know, that's, if you, like, again, I don't know what you've seen, but if you've seen the Wick thing, mocking, oh dear, mocking again. Okay, I can't even have a conversation with you. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. You're saying I'm missing the point. I think in the same way with like I'm echoing. In the same way, if like with the Preddy stuff, when people were on my channel being like, yeah, you know what, he deserved it, you know, and they're laughing at him and they're joking about it and stuff. It's like, yeah, all of this stuff. It's like they're not saying, you know, oh, people should go out and do this stuff, but yeah, there's a degree of like talking about a situation where you are giving air to that line of thinking. I don't know how you don't see that. Super high energy about mocking them. Yeah, okay. We're talking about people who died, right? Just a sanity check. We're not talking about Destiny mocking other people. We're talking about him making fun of people's deaths and saying fuck around and find out, and saying that Thomas Crook should have gone to the firing range more and had practiced better and all this stuff. Like we're saying like you're acting like Destiny is just saying like kind of common little jokes or stuff that everyone knows that's a joke. He's just being edgy. If you have watched any of the stuff I'm talking about, you would not think Destiny is just being edgy. There is like deep sincerity to what he's saying in all of that. I mean, everyone is telling Trump to tone down his rhetoric. What the fuck? I don't even know what it's like to be. I can't even imagine being on the left. I don't know how many parts of your brain you have to fucking turn off if you think that no one is telling Trump to tone down his rhetoric. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I'm sorry, guys, I have to dip. Thanks for having me up, Confluence. Talk to you later. See you later, Soda, and chat.
See you, Futoy.
See you, Futoy.
I guess what bugs me is that it feels like who that no, it's not a demo on the left is doing it. What are you talking about? Ben Shapiro even does that. Ben fucking Shapiro, one of the most popular fucking conservative talking heads right now. You know, all those situations I mentioned. You know, like of the Rob Reiner tweet and like the Robert Mueller tweet and all of the crazy shit that Trump is saying when he's ramping stuff up. Ben Shapiro will always talk about that and say, I don't like this. So how are you saying no newscasters, no conservatives, nobody? I understand you're saying, yeah, I'm not a big enough voice, so it doesn't matter if I say that the rhetoric is too high. But if you're talking about like a massive conglomerate like the Daily Wire, and they're opposed to this, I don't know how you're like, oh, this is not, the right isn't calling out Donald Trump. That's just like, I don't know, that's so like 6 years ago, that's cheap. That's so actually 6 years ago.
It's anecdotal, but I mean, if we look at the Trump tweet with Robert Mueller, I'm pretty sure majority of the panel, you know, talked against that and said it was a bad tweet.
Yeah, I don't know if there was, at least on my, like I know we're a small thing, but out of all the conservatives that come on, I don't think there was a single person that I can remember that was like, you know what? Yeah, that tweet is actually goated, you know? Like everyone agreed that that's like a fucked up thing.
It's a dumb fucking tweet. It's a tweet that should have never been made. It's a tweet where a staffer should have checked him and before he tweeted it out. It's something Trump, even at his age, should have looked at that and been like, oh, that would be a retarded thing for me to say.
Yeah, I don't know why. But not even like from a real politique point of view, it's also retarded. But yeah, just from a moral level, from every level, it's a stupid fucking thing. And it also, again, shout out John Zerka, it also does create a permission structure. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's probably my biggest problem I have with it, aside from just the moral failure of it all, is that then I think, the diehard, like super diehard mega people are going to see something like that and be like, oh, right, okay, Trump is saying that, yeah, we can just do this now. We can just cheer on people's deaths and we can just say, yeah, I am glad they died. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm glad that guy died. You know, like, and that's a terrible... I'm glad Zerk introduced me to the concept of permission structures, because now I see them everywhere, and they are very important, okay? They're very important, and I think that is a horrible permission structure for a president to fucking set up.
Yeah, no, it's and to be fair, I think the left has called this out for a while, and I think they've been right about it. I think there's some examples like the Charlottesville stuff where I think they've they've gone too far with it, I guess, picking apart what he's saying. But I think generally they have been right when saying that there's been a lot of crazy statements that Trump has said that no president should ever say.
Yeah. And I get Let's Chief. I'm not like the right does suck at this. I think the left does as well. But I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that the right doesn't suck at this. There is a lot of stuff that happens that people are way too comfortable, I think, celebrating and stuff. So I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't happen to the other side. I guess I just don't like that you're saying in these examples we're bringing up, like with Destiny, they were like trying to like carry water in some weird way instead of just saying, yeah, those are like fucked up comments. And it's fine for me to say they're fucked up comments. Like not everything has to be like, is it a left versus right? Who does it more? Which side is calling out people more? It's like, yeah, I'll admit that when the right doesn't call it out, it's bad. When the right will say unhinged shit, it's bad. When the left says unhinged shit, it's bad. It's something we should all just be able to fucking agree on.
Yep.
Like the permission, you don't even know what a permission structure is, apparently, Mel. Nice try though. You should talk to John Zerk. He's very good at explaining it.
Yeah, Mel, take that to your parents and get that signed, and then that'll be the permission structure.
Yeah, Mel's just like, I heard two words I know, and I'm gonna assume that when they're put together that I know what they mean.
I think it's because Mel didn't read John's little, what is it, Obsidian document or his PowerPoint.
Oh, the schizo Obsidian
if you would have read that, you would know what it means. You'd be in the palagenic, all the hyperglesis or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, the palagenetic hypernationalism or something, or hypergenic ultranational. I can't even fucking remember now.
You gotta read through like
used to permit permission structure is far broader than that. Far broader than that. Okay, far broader. Like that's a fucking. I think that's a very not good definition. Permission structure can happen in like a friend group where it's like, is it okay to like make homophobic jokes and like maybe at first no one says it and then it's like. Then one guy maybe treads the water a little bit and says something homophobic, and then the rest of the people are like, oh wait, okay, we are allowed to do this. Like that guy did it and everything seems fine, so now I can express my thoughts on this. It's wrong in the sense that you're giving such a, it's like if you're like, I know what a vegetable is, carrots. It's like it includes carrots, but like if you're defining vegetable, you just pointed to an example of a permission. That doesn't really demonstrate that you know it. You're just like giving an example of something that falls in the set. Okay.
You could also see it in like games and stuff like that. So it's like if me and Confluencer were playing poker and all of a sudden I start adding cards to my hand and Confluence sees this, he's like, okay, there's a permission structure now that I can bend the rules a little bit to add cards to my hand, and it's something as simple as that.
Yeah. You're just being a snob. I'm just trying to match sass with sass, Mel, okay? You're only outsassed by Alex himself, okay? So I'm just trying to meet you. You've given me a permission structure to be sassy. I'm calling it a reductive summary when fucking Mel just said 2 minutes ago that it was a schema we used to permit violence.
Don't you love being gaslit?
Mm-hmm. I don't even know where Trump's mind is anymore at all.
At baby's apartment.
Probably. Like, I'm sure I take special umbrage to the whole, like, tariff thing. But, like, the 50% announced tariffs on Canada, again, it's like, can we just be done? Can we just be fucking done?
Vote correctly, Confluence, and this would be a fucking problem.
I just, like, it's so annoying to me because it's like, I hate the change that has happened because, like, Canadians and Americans, used to be, super close. Tight. Yeah, and now it's like because of this, it's like all these Canadians, and it's like I don't obviously fall into that, but I think even if I was just like a normal Canadian, I'd like to think I wouldn't either. But I understand the temptation if the president is like constantly, trying to butt fuck you, then it's like, okay, bro, at a certain level, it's like, you gotta just calm the fuck down.
Whoa. Compliments. Let's not even act like that's how it really happened. Canada's been trying to butt fuck us for years. And they've slowly been incrementing butt fucking. And then when we call it out, oh, we're the bad guys.
That's true. We've been butt fucking you on the dairy and the alcohol, whatever else Trump is uber mad about for some reason.
Well, see, the weird thing is Canada to me, y'all act very similar to European nations. And it's like, it confuses me because I figured that y'all would be, I guess y'all would act more like us and have this, you know, what's the best way to put it? Like this kind of, it's Canadian pride type stuff, you know, American pride. And it's like, no, y'all kind of went the way of Europe, where it's like, no, we're going to sell out the white race and just shoot ourselves in the foot with our economic policies. And to an extent, America is doing that, but we're trying to stop that, you know.
Are you, though? Are you? That's the question.
Well, I'm trying to stop that. You know, if you want to join my side, you can join my side.
Because that's the thing. It's like, for all Trump's talk and stuff, and for how much people want to say he's like implementing Project 2025, there's a lot of like key things that I feel like aren't really being changed as much, you know?
Yeah. He's kind of turning into a Nick Fuentes, where he seems to have the description perfect, but the prescription is like kind of what the fuck, Trump?
Yeah.
And I guess it's because of the fact that what's the best way to say this? Trump is kind of the problem. It's a good and a bad thing. Trump has the ability to read the room and engage whether he should do something or not do something. Like, I know I've heard Tyler say a lot of times it depends on the last person he talks to, and that's generally what he believes. And it's like, that can be good, because if you're doing things that you're based on support, you're more likely to stop doing it. But the problem is if most of the people you're talking to are just kind of neocons or World Economic Forum people or like bullshit Republicans, then he's just going to go whichever way they tell him he should go. And so if you don't have the right people around him with the right, I guess, information being fed to him, he's just going to go with his gut. And I don't think his gut's too reliable.
No. And that's the problem with, I mean, even the cabinet picks, which we both were happy with initially, but yeah, if you just select people based on loyalty, which seemed to be his main criteria for selecting people, then it's like, if they're actually good people, they're just gonna step down, which we've seen happen. Or if the loyalty is actually so high that they're just gonna like acquiesce, then they're just gonna become fucking puppets, which we've also seen. Yeah. And so it's like, it's gonna go, if that's what your main criteria to select on, you're just gonna fucking fail. But I think he lost the fake electorate plot, and so he's like, no, okay, Mike Pence fucked me, so everyone I pick has to be like, all I care about is loyalty. And loyalty's good to care about, to be clear, but it can't be like the one and only thing that you're like looking for, you know?
No. He became hyper focused on it, because you have people like Bill Barr, you have people like Pence, you have people like, I forget that 4-star general that Trump told him he's not here. Nathan's not here right now.
Well, right. Thank you, Gemini from Mel. Yeah, I love that we can see what you typed in to get to say that too.
But it's just kind of, I don't know. I still view it as a positive, because I guess I've been stuck in the right wing for so long that I don't like how there was no pushback on a lot of left-wing policies, and I feel like Trump was that first step back in our direction. And it's not perfect, but hey, I'll still take it over fucking Kamala Jackson, or whatever the fuck her name is.
Kamala Brown Jackson?
Yeah, Kamala Brown Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, I still don't regret my vote. I can't
No.
imagine what Trump would have to do to be worse than Kamala in my mind, but hasn't happened yet.
No.
And I'm still just
but-
like, I'm so sad because when Ron DeSantis, as you know, big Ron DeSantis fan, when he announced his shit, I was like, surely we're done with Trump. Like I truly thought the right was like done with Trump after all the shit that happened. I did not expect DeSantis. I know he like had so many missteps in his campaign, but I did not expect Trump to still get so much support. Like I thought people were kind of like moved on. I think I mistook that I was moved on, and I'm just like, well, okay, I'm probably like in a similar place of like these other Republicans. And so, yeah, like I see DeSantis, I see he's getting policies done. He has good takes on a lot of stuff. He's got practical political experience. You know, I was like, okay, yeah, people are definitely gonna, you know, and then, but yeah, it wasn't even close. Like it wasn't even remotely close.
Well, I guess the problem with it is I'm glad DeSantis lost. And I guess the reason why is because Ron DeSantis has been an immaculate governor, that maybe that needs to be what happens, is that we start loading up states with really good governors. And so that way we actually have people who are defending the interest of, I guess, the people they represent. Because it seems like every time we vote for president and hope the president fixes something, it never really fixes stuff. Like, I mean, Trump's best quality is he's pushed back on the culture, but on a policy basis, I probably couldn't name you 5 fantastic policies that he's implemented where I've been like, yeah, that's fantastic. There's no debate that this policy is going to work out tremendously. But it's like culture-wise, he's been a great element pushing back on that. But if we had good governors and representatives and senators, then I could be like, okay, well, at least they can get shit done, and Trump could just be, I guess, that cheerleader in the background saying, yay, you know.
Yeah. He's a good hype guy, you know?
Yeah.
So he gets the people going, which I appreciate. And Brandon, yeah, 100%. If it was even fucking like Josh Shapiro or something, like there's a lot of like, I think reasonable Democrats that I think I would at this point regret my vote. But it was just like a worse Biden. It was just actually a worse Biden. And like for a number of ways. So it was a brain dead Biden, but it's actually someone who's worse than Biden was.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of people like, but that's what I'm worried about in fucking 2028, because it's gonna be someone like Gavin Newsom or fucking AOC or Kamala again, because she's talking about running again. And the last time I checked the polls, she has like the supporting, she's still like in the lead if she were to run again, is fucking Kamala. And it's like, I don't understand. It's like, why are we doing this? We're gonna have a fucking Kamala do-over, and it's probably gonna be against Trump because bro's gonna run a third time. Okay, Project 2024 was right. Or not Project Lincoln, the Lincoln Project. They were right. He's gonna run for a third term. And we're gonna have a fucking rematch.
I would have took a Democrat Tulsi over Trump in the 2016 election.
Absolutely. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Now, Josh Shapiro, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I've seen, I guess I don't have a big enough sample pool to be like, okay, yeah, I like that. Because it's like with Trump, I'm getting the culture pushback, and I'm not sure that any other candidate that I know of is going to give that cultural pushback.
I can still hear you.
I think right now that cultural pushback is something that we greatly need. Because it seems like if left unchecked, our culture is going to corrode, and then it's just going to break down into more tribal. It's going to break down into even more tribal groups, kind of similar to how it is now. I mean, and to be fair, it's kind of Trump's fault, because I mean, the right wing was a massive coalition, and it's like now you're either MAGA or everyone else.
I mean, I guess I'm thinking like, I think Trump has done so much damage to like on so many levels, like all the norms that are now fucked. I mean, the norms get progressively fucked with every new president, to be clear. Mm-hmm. Everything gets pushed back more, but Trump has done, I think, a lot of damage in the American political sphere. also in the world, I think like we're closer than ever to losing U.S. Hegemony, and so that shit scares me. So even though I agree, like I think I'm enjoying the kind of the pendulum swinging in the other direction, like on a cultural level, and I think that's very important because I think culture dictates our like entire society. So I think that's actually a positive thing that's happened. So I agree with you there. But if it was like there's still a degree of Trump where I think he's harmed so many norms. There's just been so much fucking nonsense in so many dimensions. And it's only 2026. We got a couple years left.
Oh yeah.
So much stuff that if it was just some common sense Democrat person, like not fucking Gavin and not fucking AOC and not fucking Kamala, but if it's just someone like kind of normal, then I feel like, okay, maybe you know what? Even though I want to win the culture war so fucking bad, maybe it's not worth, it's not worth it. Maybe it's not worth it to have what we've seen with Trump. Maybe it's not worth it. But like,
let me ask
we weren't
you
given that option.
Let me ask you the two extremes. If you had the chance to actually preserve the culture that you think is I guess that represents you and is I guess the great culture of America, or you have the option of preserving the world hegemony, which one would you pick?
Well, the problem is the world hegemony, I think, is going to eventually corrode the American empire, I guess, is my concern. Yeah. So it's like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, the world stuff, it's like, okay, well, that's not close to home yet, but it will be close to home once all this like fallout takes place, right? All the tariff stuff, all the war stuff, all the Israel stuff, right? Just the fucking Greenland side quest, just like all of this shit, right? It's just like, we're gonna fucking lose the petrodollar. Everything's gonna go to shit. The BRICS nations are gonna take us over in a global sense. And then we're gonna lose the all the stuff that we've worked for as a fucking country.
Yeah. Well, to me, it seems like you could probably make the argument that if we lose the hegemony, we could also lose the culture, meaning that our way of life has changed here like forever and on. But I also could probably make the argument it's the same thing with the culture. If we lose our culture in exchange to keep the hegemony, then I think ultimately the hegemony is going to probably crack and fall through because we're no longer that same culture that built it originally.
Yes, and so I don't disagree. I think, yeah, it's a toss-up, I guess, because like, I guess what I would think if it's, I mean, this is why I still don't regret my vote, because I guess precisely because of the stuff you're saying, because I think not only would Kamala isn't the status quo Democrat. I mean, maybe she's becoming one, I guess, but she's not like a normal, what I consider to be like a sane Barack Obamian type figure where it's like, okay, I don't love the guy, but it's like, he's fine, in the big scheme of things, right? This is like more along the lines of the culture is already running off the fucking cliff and Kamala's just going to be like the final nail in that coffin. So that's why I would still vote for Trump. I guess what I'm saying is if it wasn't that, if it was someone who's more like a common sense Democrat, then yeah, maybe the culture doesn't have this resurgence that it's having now, but I think it would probably at least stay on the edge of the cliff and not tumble over. And then maybe we'd get to keep, so maybe we get to have our cake and eat it too. Maybe we'd have our US hegemony in the world, and we'd have all the powers and privileges that we have, and we wouldn't have done all the stuff that we're doing in our own country that's not good. And yeah, maybe our culture would still be on a knife's edge, but still be there, right? So again, if it was Kamala, I think we'd all be fucked, because I think we're reaching a point where it's just like too far. And to go back to the permission structures, I do like, that's the one thing I do like about Trump, is there is permission structures he grants people that I think are good, that he can just say, you know what? Yeah, we're kind of done with this, like, no offense, Mel, but like the gender ideology obsession. He can kind of just like say that, and it's like people are like, okay, wait, we're allowed to say this? We're not going to get canceled for saying this? Okay, we can say this. And of course people go too far, but it's like there's some stuff where it's like, yeah, I'm glad that people are more willing to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm fine defending my religion. I'm fine defending my political stances. I don't have to be like hiding what I think about like all these like, culture wars issues or these political topics. Like, I think that's a good thing. The problem is with Trump, of course, it comes along with a bunch of bad permission structures too. So your definition of culture is something that is already dead, and you have no understanding that culture naturally changes over time. Typical brain dead conservative. That's like the fucking holy shit. It's like you have such a pure comment where it's like, this could be satire. If I didn't know Mel, I would think this is a satirical comment. that's just like dripping in irony, but I know it's a real comment and typed sincerely, so thank you, Mel. Also, good to see you, Young Christian. I think Mel goes out of her way to misinterpret me. So culture and society are the same thing in your literate worldview. I literally said the opposite. I said that culture influences society, and Mel's like, so what you're saying is culture and society are the same thing. Even though I just said one influences the other. I was talking about the downstream effects that the culture has on the society. I feel like we talk about trans people and gender even more now that Trump was elected. That's my experience, at least. We probably do, but at least it's like, there was a time where it's like everyone's like this is how things are now, and we can't like give our thoughts on this. So yeah, we do talk. There is the pendulum swinging too far in the other direction, where now we're like maybe more hyperfixated than ever. So I agree with that. But at least you can like give your opinion. There is that idea that the right is like, okay, we're kind of in charge now, and we can kind of like say when we think something's fucked up. Whereas before it was all in like in the kind of in the shadows. It was like people had to like almost like they were too afraid, or they didn't want to like say their opinion. And I appreciate that now we can have this like dialogue. Good to see you, Topanga. Read my last coward. Read my last response, coward, says Mal. Yeah, you like violence when you feel safe from it. I too feel safe from the left's violence, so I am fine with it because it doesn't hurt. When I don't even know what I said that possibly makes you. I don't even know. I don't even know what that means, Mel. I honestly don't even know what I said that that could possibly be in relation to, or why I'm a coward for not reading what is clearly a schizo post. But I'll read a schizo post. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, how dare you, coward?
Not read my completely off-topic thing that like I can't connect at all. Unless you can, Mel, then please tell me. Violence against trans people, I love it. No, I'm not going to own something that I don't love. I don't want violence against trans people, Mel. I would hope you would know that. I'm not going to say, that's the thing. I feel like, well, there is a degree where it's like, okay, yeah, there's obviously stuff that I couldn't say even if I wanted to, but there's also stuff that I sincerely don't want to say. I have no desire to say, to want harm against trans people. I have absolutely no desire. Yeah, I guess if that's what if you're saying medical, yeah, okay, so let me try to go into the mind of Mel. So Mel, you're saying medical professionals try to reduce harm and that bothers you. So what you're saying, I guess, and I'm trying to be good faith here, this is the only way I can see this thing working, is you're saying that like, yeah, medical professionals are trying to reduce harm by giving things like HRT to like minors and stuff like that. And because I oppose this, then because I'm against what you consider to be harm reduction, then what I actually want is violence, because I don't want them to be in less harm. So then therefore I must want them to be in more harm, which is why I want violence against trans people. I think that's actually the best steelman I can make. I think I'm honestly being good faith, because that's the only way I can see that you're connecting what I said to violence against trans people.
So does that mean we all support violence against body dysmorphia people because we want to make sure that they can't have that affirmation of cutting off a body part?
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
would that be a coherent thought?
Yeah, I wonder. Mel, I see your last comment. I still don't really see how that necessarily, how you're equating that to violence. Like, yeah, we might like disagree on like, yeah, what is best for an individual, what is actually going to make them most healthy and happy. And that's fine to disagree on. To think that that means I want violence to be done to them, that's where it becomes a bit of a stretch. Like, at least, well, first of all, I'm not pro. I'm pro maybe like if you're over 18 and you want to do conversion therapy, like in Canada it's illegal, even if you want to. I think if you want to and you're 18, if you can like go and get all these modifications, then I think if you're 18 and you want to do conversion therapy, fine. I'm certainly not advocating for that. I don't know if Big Soda wants to forcibly, do some gender conversion therapy, or what's good, Big Soda.
Only if their parents are okay with it first. Fuck what they think. If their parents are okay with it, they'll do it. Okay. I mean, to be fair, even like I made the statement last night about never allowing it.
But at a certain point, I think Tyler does have a point to where either we, I guess, we tell them no, they can't do it, and they go and do it on their own. It probably would be best if there's a safe environment to where people who are going to engage in this type of behavior at least have that benefit of doing it in a safe, I guess, a safer environment, having that conversion in a safer environment than, having street or people on the street cut off their genitalia.
Right. It's like what Anson was saying too about how like people are always going to find a way. And I brought up the Keppels thing where she was like teaching people how to like homebrew estrogen and all this shit. It's like, unfortunately, that's always going to happen. So there is a harm reduction angle to this in the same way that I'm like pro handing out needles to drug addicts, or condoms to prostitutes. It's like, yeah, this stuff is going to happen. There's a line where you don't want to enable it. And there's a balance. I think reasonable people can disagree on this. But yeah, there's a line where you're trying to reduce harm, but you can go too far and try to enable the same thing. And so I think we have to strike that balance where it's like, yeah, people are going to find weird surgeries. They're going to either be traveling to other countries to do it, or they're going to find some shady doctor, or they're going to be homebrewing their own estrogen, which is obviously not safe. And you should be seeing an endocrinologist if you're fucking with your hormones.
Yeah. But I guess the problem is. Go ahead.
So, I was just reading Mel's. No medical professional is doing anything but blocking puberty and then giving them cross-sex hormones when they're old enough legally. Well, and surgeries, of course. But I agree. I mean, we're doing puberty blockers, Lupron, which is reversible to a degree. I mean, there's bone density issues with Lupron, as I'm sure you know, Mel. And hormones are not exactly reversible, as I don't think you'd disagree with that. And surgery definitely isn't, as you would definitely agree with that.
And I take it there's probably not a lot of long-term studies that we have to actually see if this is having the intended result or if it's having a drastic negative result.
Of what specifically?
Of giving like hormone blockers or HRT, which I guess would be the same thing, or would you say Teflon?
So puberty blockers would be stuff like Lupron that's blocking the puberty. So like blocking the hormones your body's producing, and an HRT would be like the cross-sex hormones, because that's hormone replacement therapy. So that'd be like Mel when Mel takes estrogen, but Mel is probably on some type of testosterone blocker. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mel. And then something like estradiol or something to do the feminization.
Now, would this be a daily, a monthly? Like, do you generally know? Like, I guess what would be the intake of this hormone blocker?
I think it's Mel. So this is a question for Mel. I think it's weekly. I think, but I could be completely wrong. Bone density is more. I can send you studies about Lupron causing bone density issues, Mel.
Because I guess the worry that I have,
more of a function of calcium. Like if you're saying lack of calcium will destroy your bones, of course. Like when you say more of a function, it's like, of course. It's like saying lead is more damaging to your IQ than aluminum. It's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean aluminum isn't damaging to your IQ. It's just, yeah, it's maybe lead is more, it's worse. We're not really doing a comparison between calcium deficiencies and Lupron, no, if you think about it.
Now, do hormone blockers, will that make you sterile? Like, will you have the ability to come off that and have children afterward? Or is it kind of like a case-by-case basis?
It's case-by-case, yeah. It's like the puberty blockers, that's very unlikely, if not at all, to like eliminate your fertility. The cross-sex hormones that you end up taking, like the stuff that Mel's on, that if Mel was a woman, if Mel was a biological female, and then was on testosterone for a number of years, then you're like fucking with your fertility huge time over.
Now, do we know if, let's say in the example that you're just taking hormone blockers and you come off of it, then you have a baby, do you think has it been enough time to where we have studies about what that could potentially do to the baby?
No, that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of the thing with like with the cast report. And all trans people are big mad about that. Because it's, all of this stuff is kind of new in the sense that, yes, like trans has existed for a while and we've been medically treating it for a while, but not in the amounts, not in the ages.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. It's kind of like the Ozempic scare where it's like this could be the weight loss miracle drug, but it's like, and it's been used in other contexts, just like Lupron, the thing I mentioned, the puberty blocker, that's used both to chemically castrate prisoners at times, but it's also used in precocious puberty. So we do have data on Lupron, because if you go through puberty at like a young age, like some kids will go through puberty at like 5 or 6, that's not healthy. So they'll give them something like Lupron to do a puberty blocker. So there is good uses of puberty blockers. They have been used, but not in the amount that they are being used, right? Like, so yeah. And so we don't have large sample sizes for all this stuff, because now we have a cohort of people that are using cross-sex hormones like obviously never before. I mean, it's so many orders of magnitude off of what would have happened, let's say 20 years ago, right? So it's like, it's very hard to have like any long-term data or any like large enough sample size to really know, I think, what the long-term effects of this stuff is.
So, I mean, now I'm not trying to say these two things are similar in their harm toward people, but like, isn't this kind of like what happened with like us putting lead in a bunch of stuff? Is like 40 years down the road, we found out that this had dire consequences, and now we had to revert back really quick because of the dire consequences of putting lead in like toys, paint, everything.
Yeah, or like
Could this not be
asbestos,
another
I think.
Example?
The asbestos, I think, is an even maybe stronger example, because asbestos is something that at least lead, it took us a while to realize, but the harm happens very immediately. But with asbestos, you could just be breathing asbestos and you're chill for 30 years, and then you get fucking mesothelioma, decades later. So it's like, yeah. So Mel, people can talk. You don't have to like constantly try to like chirp and insult people, okay? To be clear, okay? But yeah, I would agree with you, Mel, but just like you could be a little nicer. But yeah, I think lead is a direct neurotoxin. I agree with that. So the something like asbestos, sure, though, there are things where, I mean, there's even a thalidomide, right? Where it's like, thalidomide was that big thing in the UK. I don't know if we talked about this, Big Soda, but it was that drug to treat morning sickness that caused all those fucking babies to have like tetramelia, where you're like missing all your limbs and a bunch of other stuff. And they did tests on it, and somehow it just wasn't picked up in the test, and then it was like sold in market in the UK and other countries, and then like a bunch of thalidomide babies came out, which is horrific. Like, it's a very weird drug where it's like, depending on the stage of gestation when you took the drug, it would do like different effects, and you could like really demarcate it. Like, if you look at the wiki page, it's wild. It's like, if you take it when you're like 3 to 6 weeks pregnant, it will like cause blindness in your baby, just as an example. And if you take it between 6 and 9 weeks, it'll cause the limbs to not grow. And it's like, it's fucking insane. It causes so many bad problems. But even despite there being, because the data wasn't well documented enough, the sample size wasn't big enough, they approved this fucking drug, and a bunch of women just taking it for morning sickness had babies with severe disabilities, like horrific disabilities. Yeah, there is long-term stuff that can happen from all of this stuff. Now, I kind of agree with what Mel is saying about the kid thing. I think it's unlikely. I think I kind of agree. Unless if you're taking it during pregnancy, though, then I would say, yeah. Then does it cross the blood-brain barrier, all that stuff? Does it cross the little fetal gap? All that stuff is like, I think, important. But yeah, if you stopped taking it and then you had a baby, I don't know, but I doubt it would cause it, because mostly things that like affect the baby, most things at least, right, is going to be stuff that crosses the blood-brain barrier, because then it crosses the placental lines and gets into like the baby. Which is why you can't drink alcohol because then alcohol crosses the blood-brain barrier and it goes into the placenta and whatever the fuck. I don't know how women work, but you know, it gets the baby somehow.
Yeah, like I don't really know, so I can't really say that I know of any negative effects, or I guess it was more so asking a question.
Oh, Mel does say it's not advised to do HRT at any level during pregnancy. Okay, see, that's something I didn't know. So I guess you do have to stop it.
It's something that potentially could pass on to the baby, causing, like, I take it, potential problems. Because, like, that's what scares me with the kind of medicational side of it, is the fact that it worries me that potentially in 20 or 30 years we could have this new information that this drug was bad, and we kind of just went straight for it without kind of knowing whether this is potentially bad.
The good thing is we do, so it's similar to like, I guess the Lupron example I was bringing up, where it's like, it's not used in, obviously it's used more now, but something like estradiol, like exogenous estrogen, is used in like, you know, postmenopausal women. And so it has like non-gender dysphoria related uses. And so there is data, but is the data robust enough? Also, the data is, if you're taking estradiol generally right before the trans thing, you're either taking because your body's not making it, which can happen at a younger age, of course, but in general, it's when you're older. It's the same with like TRT, right? It's like, there's like Joe Rogan is on testosterone replacement therapy. He's taking the same shit that like a trans man is taking, right? But not in the same doses, first of all, not in the same doses, which is a big component, but also usually not in the same age bracket. Because like most people, unless you have like something really wrong with you, you're not taking testosterone replacement therapy at like 18 years old, right? So there's like, there's like bad longitudinal data about people that are taking these cross-sex hormones at a young age, because it just, there's not many normal cases in normal life where this would happen, right? Unless you have like a severe, some intersex condition where your body's just like not making testosterone at all, or not nearly enough quantities. But those are rare examples, right? So you can imagine it's hard to get like good data off of that. And now all of a sudden we're in a place where now there's a massive cohort of like, you know, thousands and thousands of people that are taking TRT at like 16 or 18, or right when you're very young. And yeah, do we know how that works, you know, when they're 30, 40, 50? We have no fucking idea, is the truth, especially not in that dose range for that amount of time, for someone who doesn't have a reason to be taking it. Like there's a lot of things that we just don't know. Yeah, you could, Les Chief is right, you could give birth to a really manly child with a full beard and have to put creatine in his milk. That's true. To call that a lot of data, Mel, is insane. That is not what I mean by a lot of data. And I hope you can admit this if we're speaking comparatively. Like I'm saying, if we know about the amount of people at 18 that are taking TRT now versus the amount of people in, let's say, the 90s that were taking TRT at 18, we're talking orders of magnitude of difference. So we're not talking the same thing. And intersex, it's not like every intersex person needs, like it's a small, intersex is already a small subset of people. A smaller subset of intersex people need medication. A smaller subset of those need TRT replacement. A smaller subset of those need TRT in the same amount that a trans person would need TRT. Like we're so much levels of like nuance deep of like the before the trans thing of like how many young people would actually need like TRT. Hashtag not all intersex. Why are you treating? I feel like I shouldn't be explaining this to you, Mel. You should be explaining this to me. But obviously, not intersex people are not a monolith, right? Like there's like a small subset of intersex people would need to take something like, you know, TRT at a young age. Like a very and again, intersex is already obviously a fraction of the population, a very small percent of the population. What am I wrong about, Mel? What am I wrong about? Mel's one of those people that just like loves to just say that someone's clueless, but with the complete inability to like prove them wrong or like say or contradict anyone on what they're saying, which is a very easy thing to do. You know what, Mel? You're clueless, actually. I'm not going to tell you how or why, but you know what? You're clueless. I've just decided that. I mean, I think also, Big Soda, I think this is kind of the horrors of something like the Cass report. I don't know how like in the weeds you've gotten in on that, but it's like for the longest time, I mean, we've seen a reversal, and I think this is to what you're saying, because for the longest time it was like, no, these things are actually a benefit to like young people, and we have this data about suicidality and it actually is helping and all this stuff, and then the Cass report comes along and tries to look at all the data we have now, and they're like, pause. I don't actually think we have enough data to like safely say that this is a good idea. You know, and we've seen, right, the biggest gender clinic in the UK closed. I think the biggest one in Sweden closed. I mean, we're seeing like a complete reversal of this. Whereas like 5 years ago, people like Mel would be calling me a crazy person, which she probably still will, for saying like, hey, yeah, there's probably maybe some risks of like giving cross-sex hormones to minors. Like maybe we shouldn't do that. You know, and then now it's like, well, holy vindication, Batman. We're like, it's like all of these places are like, oh yeah, actually, okay, maybe that is a crazy thing. And it's again, it's not like we didn't have data. It's that we didn't have sufficient data. The same with the thalidomide, the same with all of this shit, right? There's having some amount of data is not enough in these cases when you're introducing something on a broad level like we are now. The same thing, like I said, with the Ozempic stuff. Ozempic's been used for ages, right? For like people with diabetes. But it's like, that's not the same as giving it to everyone for the purposes of weight loss. Like those are just two different categories of things that's happening, you know?
Now, do we have the information back, like with Ozempic and stuff like that? Like, are we starting to learn more about Ozempic, or is that still something that's up in the air?
It's one of those things that it's like, there doesn't seem to be, from what I've looked at, unless there's something I'm missing, it doesn't seem to be anything that bad. I've seen a couple of videos that try to say stuff. I think it's kind of overblown, the studies that they're pointing to. But it's one of those kind of just things that I think people should be cautious of, just based on, in a similar, I guess, to like the Rona vaccine in a way, where it's like, you can do some like tests at a certain level and you can have some data and you can extrapolate to like similar vaccines and you can try to do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're introducing any type of substance to a much larger swath of the population, there's going to be stuff that you fucking missed in your initial trials, in your initial everything. Yeah. If it can happen with thalidomide, if it can happen with the Rona vaccine, it can happen with fucking anything. Like if something is used for different use cases, or if it's used for a broader segment of the population, then it's like, you just don't know. So Ozempic, it's like probably fine, but it's like, yeah, do we know what, let's say you're on it between the ages of like 20 and 60, do we know what that's going to do for most people? Could it be that like 1% is going to get some type of like heart condition or some type of kidney failure? Like who the fuck knows? So it's something I think we should always have some trepidation about, like that type of thing, right? When it's like even if the drug's been around for a little while, it's very different when it's being used at a much higher level than it was used before. So, I mean, would I take Ozempic to thin max? Probably, but only temporarily, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I would not, I don't think you should be on Ozempic for, like, your whole life. I would just be nervous about that.
It's like, when I first started hearing, like, the celebrities take it, and, like, I started hearing it brought up with people that are famous, I was like, it gave me the thought of, like, what happens if, like, 10 years from now, they just start exploding. And it's like a severe reaction to it where it's just their bodies explode. I was like, they get it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it is unironically, it is like you with the long-term stuff, that's always spooky. It's always spooky. I mean, it's the same thing even with like the psychiatric meds, right? There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, yeah, okay, like even with SSRIs, it's like, yeah, we have ideas of what this does psychologically in like some level, but the more anything that's like hasn't been around, which SSRIs have been around for a long time, but they're making new ones all the time, and they're making like iterations like SNRIs and stuff, like selective serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. And it's like, we know what they do to brain chemistry in like the short term. Harder to guess the exact fallout effects of what they're going to do over the long term, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the same with like any new medication. So there's always like a risk reward, I guess. But yeah, with some stuff, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're scared of things you just don't understand. Scared of your shadow, incapable of learning. Yeah, I am. Everyone should be scared of medication without having like long-term studies on it. That's a healthy thing to be nervous of, Mel. So you're right. I am scared of things that me and no one understands. So for a drug like Ozempic that we don't have any idea what it's going to do for the average person taking it over the course of 50 years. Yeah, I'm nervous about that. I think that's a fair fear to have.
It's reasonable.
Mel's best counterpoint. And we don't know the effects on your brain chemistry of that video game, but that's not stopping you, fucking hypocrite. Yeah, that's true, Mel. When I'm talking about something that's changing your neurochemistry very directly and causing noticeable side effects, which are obviously very well studied, you know, that's the same as like, well, I don't technically know what Celeste right now, what this exact stage of Celeste is doing to my neurochemistry. So therefore I'm a hypocrite if I'm skeptical of one. I must treat all things equally, even when they're clearly divergent. What a good point, Mel. What a fucking good point.
Yeah, she got you there.
Yeah, tell me more, clueless fuck. See, I hate Mel, but I love Mel because I get so much dopamine. So, you know, I'm glad you're here, Mel. You're retarded. You're retarded, Mel. To be very clear with you, you're retarded. But I still like you, okay? Oh, Big Soda, let's plug what's happening tonight. What are we talking about, Big Soda? What's the evening panel about?
This one's gonna be interesting. Now, I don't know. I guess we should talk beforehand. Do you want to not say any words? Like, how worried about you with saying the word COVID over and over and over?
Yeah,
like, should we work on abbreviation?
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I think we should try to get people to just say C19, because I feel like the whole thing, it's like fine if people say it once in a while, but because the whole panel's gonna be about that, if people are just like, the word's gonna be said like 1,000 times. So I think I'm gonna try to get people to say C19 and then say like the jab, I guess, if we're talking about that. Besides that, I feel like I don't think we have to be too nervous about other words.
Yeah. Cause I've got a little bit of information about I guess got a little bit of information of like cousin strains of SARS, and I don't know if the word SARS is kind of a trigger word.
I think we're fine with that. I think that's my gut. I obviously don't know, but
Yeah.
I feel like the main ones is going to be actually saying COVID and then vaccine. I feel like those would be, if anything's going to be picking it up. I think SARS is like too academic coded for YouTube to think that it's like, oh, this is like someone doing some misinformation. I mean, they've relaxed all their misinformation stuff anyway, but
'Cause I didn't really go the or at least I'm gonna avoid the vaccine part of it and just talk about, I guess, the virus itself. So I thought, at least with that context, it shouldn't be that TOS. If it was, 'cause I know a lot of it was about the vaccine conspiracies, and this isn't really touching on any of that. More so, just kind of the origin of the virus itself.
yeah. And so that's right. We will be talking about lab leak theory. Mel, I'm sure you're stoked about that. Mel's gonna be like, you guys you don't know what you're talking about. If you don't even know what the neurochemistry results of playing a video game are, then how can you talk about the lab leak?
The Chinese are weird. The bat virus. I wonder if that's offensive to say. You think bat virus is offensive to say?
I think, look, if Trump could call it the China virus, I think we'd call it the bat virus, you know?
Yeah, I always worry about the people who self-identify as bats and if they're gonna come after me. I don't want to upset the Batman group. People who self-identify as bats.
They're a pretty big majority of people now, you know? I
There's
can't remember, does
they're
Mel
prob-
self-ID as a furry? I don't think so, right? Or does she? She don't know. Mel, do you ID as a furry? Or do you just like foxes?
I hope the answer is yes.
I honestly can't remember. I don't think Mel like owns like a fursuit or anything. But does Mel have a fursona? Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think any of us would be surprised if Mel has a fursona, okay? And I understand it's 2026, so you know.
Well,
How do I do this
could be a-
section? I've died so. Oh, holy shit! Did I just do it? I don't even know what I fucking did there. Oh fuck. Never
The
mind.
problem I get into with the furries is so let's say, you know, we lose the culture issue on trans and trans becomes a big thing, and the next culture issue down the road just happens to be about furry rights and furries acquiring the rights of animals. And so with the rights of animals, like what happens if, you know, 50, 60 years down the road, they start making arguments about how they're allowed to engage in instinctual acts because they identify with the rights of animals. And so, what if, you know, we have a famous rape case down the road where the furry is arguing whether she has animal rights or not? I know it's wild. I might write a book about it. Maybe it'd be a good, you know, thriller. But
Or like, does
do you
that change like age of consent laws? Could they argue that? Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm only 15 in dog years, so so
Yeah.
it's fine what I did. It's not a problem. Who's to say?
And it's kind of like that's outlandish to say, but if when I was 16 like 14 years ago, 15 years ago, the trans stuff, that's how it seems to me. Like, it seems like it's a lot of it seems to be kind of, well, this is a silly situation where you have certain people, I guess, abusing the trans identity. And I'm like, man, if you would have read to me that there would be men dressing up like women and women dressing up like men and identifying with that gender, I don't think I ever would have believed that to be a serious outcome.
Yeah, you never know what the next cultural thing is going to be. I mean, I've personally seen, I think I've said this before, but it's shocking each time I see it. I've seen it twice where kids are like very like, it's one thing for a kid to have a costume on, but I've seen 2 times where a kid with like a tail and ears is like crawling around on the ground at like a playground, and it's like, and the parents just like, this is fine, and I'm like, what is going, like, maybe this is
They're
like
just
just
sitting
a
on the
make-believe
bench.
thing. Yeah, they're just like watching this happen, and the kid's got a fucking tail on, is like barking like a dog. I've seen this twice in my life, in real life, and I'm just like, what is, maybe this is just like a fun thing, and or maybe this is like some one of the strange things you'd usually see on like a fucking TikTok video, you know? It's like, what is going on right now?
No. I take it seems like an ideology that's only going to get crazier.
See, Mel is saying they never do that. I don't know. Back in the day, Mel, people can pretend to be animals. I don't know if they would kind of go out and get like a tail and get ears and then like crawl around and bark. I don't know if that was like a thing that I grew up with. I don't know where you grew up, Mel, but you know, that wasn't like a normal thing back in my day. Okay.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I don't remember that too much.
You should sexualize their behavior. Excuse me, Mel. Okay, wow, that's not where I was going. But if that's where you want to go, Mel, that's on you. Okay. Yeah, costumes. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what I was describing. I failed to mention this, Mel. You're right. I was actually talking about Halloween. And there was just like a kid in like in an animal costume, and that's what I'm getting like super, you know, crazy about. That's what I was doing. How was sexualizing them? What? How are you calling me terminally mentally ill? I just said I thought it's weird that parents are letting their kids do this, and you're saying that's sexualizing. That's fucking wild. That's fucking unhinged. That's like the biggest self-report I've ever fucking heard in my life. What the fuck? Lack self-report. I don't even know what that means. He saddles up his. Well, that's true, but I'm a consenting adult. Let's sheep, okay? So that's fine. It's 2026, okay? But I don't yuck another man's yum, okay? Oh my god, I just realized how to do this fucking thing I've been failing on for half an hour. Maybe Mel's right. Maybe I am retarded. Maybe Mel is right.
Maybe.
Okay, watch this, you guys. You're supposed to do this, and then cling, and then jump over. That's what you're supposed to do. Figured it out. So big-brained. I don't know what I'm making up to be afraid of, based on the fact that, unless you think I'm lying, that I'm saying this is two things I saw. You could say I'm afraid over stuff I ought not be afraid of, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm really making stuff up to be afraid of. But hey, I'm a conservative, so don't threaten me with a good time. If a new moral panic just dropped, okay, I need to fucking know about it. I'm all for a new moral panic, all the fucking time.
Yeah, we do kind of need a new one. The other ones are getting old.
Yeah. That's why if this furry thing really does take off, then it's like that will be a more, yeah. I feel like I can make a lot of streams out of that.
I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start doubling down and be anti-furry, so that way I can jump ahead of it.
Get
I can be the
ahead of
first
furry
person
curve.
to do it pushing back.
And Steelman is here talking about mushrooms. Classic Confluence panel.
Yeah, he's got some very interesting takes. Especially around Paul and someone got pulled over outside. Time to be nosy.
So Mel, based on you saying you wouldn't answer the question if you're a furry, I'm gonna take that as a yes. I think that's a fair thing to take from that. I think that's a pretty fair thing, I think. Pretty fair assumption. Because I feel like most people, if they're asked that and they weren't one, they just be like, hell no, I'm not a furry. But if you're like, I'm not gonna say, then I feel like you kind of did say, I guess would be my answer to that.
I don't want to dox myself.
Are those things, Mel, remember last time when you got banned for saying some fucked up shit? I feel like that's a little different. And so I don't know if that's exactly the same as me being like, first of all, if you asked me that, I would say, no, I'm not. I wouldn't say, well, I'm not going to say because you guys are perverts. I'm not going to tell you. So first of all, I wouldn't respond in that way. Second of all, I don't know if those things are really morally equivalent. So I don't know if that really makes sense to bring that up. And be like, what about this insane allegation? What if I leveled the craziest allegation ever? That's the same as you being like, oh, based on you not answering if you're a furry, you're probably a furry. Mel is craving the sweet, sweet release of the ban hammer. She wants it. That's her kink. Is getting banned from my channel. She's like, please ban me.
Ban me hard and daddy.
See, now I feel like now I'm worried if I ban and I'm playing into some weird fucking kink or something, you know?
Yeah,
I'm in a real classic catch-22 right here. I'm playing into your depraved fantasy either way, it's a no end. You know, weirdly, it is kind of similar, and I think, which is odd. This is like a horseshoe theory, okay? I'm not trying to say anything controversial here, but it's weirdly similar to like the stuff that happened with like Emmett. And I think Emmett, I don't think I'm saying anything bad, because I think Emmett will say this, that it's like if someone comes at him with something, then he does feel justified in upping the ante to like 1 million. We saw this with the Alex thing, right?
Yeah.
with when Alex said something about the dog thing, and then Emmett felt fine going back. So this is kind of like Mel's argument, I suppose. So we have a weird agreement, a weird Emmett and Mel agreement right now on what is like what's a reasonable way to like escalate a conversation or not.
You know, you might convince me on the horseshoe theory.
Horseshoe theory is so fucking real, it's crazy. That's why Mel got so pissed off when we were watching that Drake video. If you remember that, Mel was like crashing out hard.
I do remember that. Yeah, the drag stuff. That's another weird one for me. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, drag? I was saying drag.
Wait, what were you saying?
Drag, like the content creator. He was the guy. I don't know if you. I'm sure you were there for it because I feel like you're there every day, like a great co-host. I was the guy that was like writing. He had the light board and he was like writing. It was about like the. I can't remember what the topic of the video was. I've watched too many drag videos. It was the guy that had the light board and he's writing on it. He was talking about the different facets of like the kind of post-ironic right and left, and like the weird like rabbit holes that like the bar like. Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah,
his name is JREG. So I was saying drag because that's how he says his name.
Because isn't that the one where Mel came up and crashed out?
Yes, yeah. Mel was like, Mel was not having it. Mel was absolutely. I don't know why. He just like decided to hate the video immediately for some reason. But he talks a lot about the horseshoe stuff and how and that's where that video was going, where it's like, yeah, this is like. These people are more, they have less of an eye, because she got really mad over that issue, which I thought was a good point from Drag, that a lot of these people, it's like the Tyler Robbins thing with it, which I think we brought up, where it's like, the politics are very scattered, like it's very left-leaning, but the verbiage is like kind of all over the map, right? It's the same with like that, the Canadian, there's a Canadian like school pew-pewer in like BC that was trans, and it's like, so they're trans, so you'd be like left wing, and you're right, you'd be right in that assumption. But there's also like, she's like dropping like F slurs all over the place, and like in her diaries, and like saying a bunch of stuff that's like, if you took certain segments, you'd be like, oh, this is like some like groiper or some like very like edgy right wing teenager. But then it's like in totality, it's like, so that's, yeah, in totality, it's like left. But, and that's the same thing with like, yeah, the Charlie Kirk show. There's a lot of stuff that's like, I don't know, just weird, where it's like, these people they're getting their opinions in like post-ironic memes and like Discord servers. Like they're not making like well thought out like political opinions. But this is, so Drag was addressing it, this is just a real reality that we live in. And a lot of like, especially young people are that's kind of how they're building these political ideologies, are in this like post-ironic meme space, which I don't think is like super healthy.
I think I would agree.
But it's like, yeah, you see that with a lot, especially these people that go on to like make the news in some untoward way. You read their fucking manifestos, and it's not what it's not what a manifesto used to look like, where it was like, okay, this is like, yeah, it's crazy, but you know, it's like, at least, yeah, okay, you're clearly on one side or the other. A lot of these are just like fucking, the takes are so highly weird and like not, yeah, just like kind of all over the place. In like a terminally online kind of way, and that's the new era we're in, you know. It's like this weird vibes-based politics for like young people. And I think Mel was saying it doesn't matter, but I think the argument is like, if so many people are getting their political stances from this like post-ironic meme space, then it kind of does matter, you know, because like, if that's where, whether you love it or hate it, if this is where people are getting their ideas from, you know. Kind of an important thing. How the fuck am I supposed to do this? Ah!
Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
I've been stuck on this screen for like so long. Yeah, your post irony that you don't smell yourself stewing in irony soup. It's like the worst It's like the worst sentence you ever said, Mel. Okay. Just saying a lot, but. Try to figure out what Brett and them are talking about in the chat, but I can't really follow. Too busy doing such amazing Celeste gameplay right now. Okay, so I gotta dash, and then no, fuck, damn it. I want to help Confluence learn to take the L by way of physical violence. That wouldn't be compassionate, right? That's a crazy thing to say. That's fine. See, if I said that to you, Mel, you'd be like, oh my god, my transphobia. Oh, you want violence against trans people. When you're like, I want to teach Confluence through physical violence, then I'm supposed to take that as a joke. Which I think it is a joke, to be clear, but... Big Soda, what type of wine best says COVID lab leak theory? Because I need to buy some wine for tonight. But like, is it a rosé? Is it a red? Is it a what's the, I don't like many white wines, but there's one of them I like. Can't remember which now. Like what's the drink of choice for a lab leak episode? I like to try to theme my beverages, you know.
Maybe like some let's see, Miller Lite.
That's your go-to for everything, okay? It's always Miller Lite with you. You got to get on the Miller High Life bandwagon, okay? That's the fancy shit.
No, we'll see. You can't spoil yourself. You gotta save that for.
That's like anniversaries. Yeah, you're a new child being born. That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
Government holidays.
See, that's what I'm most pissed off about all these fucking Trump tariffs. It's just like I can't get my American booze. I can't get Miller High Life. I can't buy it. I can't buy fucking Jack Daniels. Okay, I haven't been able to buy Jack Daniels in like over a year now.
Have you ever thought about putting out that wildfire?
We're trying, okay? We're working on this.
You're almost worse. You're probably worse than California about putting wildfires out.
Yeah, at least leftists didn't start this one, okay? Well, they might have. That's possible, but hopefully not. Actually, is that even true? I think Tyler told me that, but I had never heard that. Is that actually a confirmed thing? That leftists started the California wildfires? Because Tyler said this on panel like a few weeks ago that it was like an arson thing. I didn't know that.
I mean, I heard it was I don't even know. I didn't know we discovered the motive. I thought it was like a homeless person or like a black kid. I mean, they got arrested.
Okay, but it is. So we know it's arson, but we don't necessarily know the motive?
I don't, personally. I didn't ask him before he lit it. Something I regret to this day.
See, I wish I was up to date on what this Brett Mel side quest is, but I feel like I'm missing too much context to know.
What I've heard a lot is that it's the homeless community is probably disproportionately represented in wildfires.
That kind of does check out. Yeah, that does check out.
If you source me, I probably couldn't find nothing on it. It's just a hunch.
I think it's a good hunch. I mean, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, like, environmentalists, they wouldn't do nothing like this. So at least you can rule them out as a community.
I don't know. What if they're like a hyper accelerationist type, you know?
Oh.
Like this will draw more attention, and in the long run, I feel like that actually has happened before in smaller examples, where it's like, yeah, actually there has been even cases, at least with like animal rights activists, where they'll go out of their way and like harm animals to try to like make it seem like other people have been harming animals. Like in one extreme, and this is a horrible thing to mention. It really is. But there's a video I have not seen, but there's some like dog being like skinned alive in this video, like absolutely horrific. But apparently the backstory of the video is that the guy on camera doing it was like paid. So I don't know if this is true. I could be like giving something that I just heard is wrong. But what I heard is that the guy it was in like some other nation, and like some animal rights activist paid this guy to do this with the intent of like, yeah, look how like barbaric, you know, people can be when it comes to animals, and like the process of like, you know, of like preparing their meat and stuff. And so it was apparently some like animal rights guy that like paid for someone to skin a dog alive. So again, I hope that story is false. Unfortunately, the video is real from what I understand. Never seen it, never will. But, well, inshallah at least. But yeah, it's like, I think there is cases where people will be like, I'm doing an action that is like, it's insane, but in my mind, I've somehow twisted it around that it's like, this will somehow cause some big chain to happen. So I could see that happening in environmental context as well.
Damn. Where it's like you're only trying to burn a little bit, and it fucking turns into the whole like East Coast.
Yeah, or if you think like, if you're like, hey, global warming is such an existential threat that even if the wildfires are super bad, that's gonna like wake people up to thinking like, oh shit, this like, look how much global warming is actually destroying us. Like we have to do something. So there is like some weird, maybe like logic of like, yeah, if I can kind of like push things along in a way, I can like make it seem like, you know, we really have to make a change, you guys.
Fair enough.
Now, I don't know if that's a good strategy or not, but
I mean, it's a common strategy, especially nowadays.
I guess that's similar. I guess in some ways what I'm just describing is like false flags in a way, I guess, right? Like that is the point of a false flag, is like, you're like, look how bad, imagine if the other side did this, because you're trying to trick people to think the other side did this. And the other side does do bad stuff, but they didn't do that specific incident. But you're like, hey, you know, if I can make people think this is worth it, I'm cracking a few eggs, but I'm making a beautiful omelet. Because right, there was that CIA plan that we've brought up that I can never remember the fucking name of.
Operation Northwoods. I know that's one of the.
Is that the naval vessel one where they wanted to like blow up a U.S. naval vessel?
Yeah.
And it's like I get like from a twisted, perverted sense of morality, I get how that's a thing that you could be like, yeah, okay, the juice is worth the squeeze. You know, this threat is so bad that it's like fine to do, but yeah, I don't know. Desired ends justify any means, even bearing false witness. Oh, about the Shroud of Turin. It's still something I don't know about. Still, I keep saying I'll look into it more, but still have not looked into it more.
Tucker's got a good video on it.
That's because fucking Tucker Carlson fucking is litigious with his copywriting. Otherwise, I would fucking go through it on stream, but I know he'll claim me, so my video watching time outside of stream is very limited.
Yeah, and this one's probably well over an hour.
You're entitled to your opinion. You'll never convince me it is informed. I don't know if this. I feel like you're talking to Brett, but now I guess you're just saying bye to me, which is fine. Okay, bye, Mel. Thank you for talking. I appreciate you, Mel, even if I, you know, disagree with almost every single word you've ever uttered in your entire life. But that's fine. 2026, as I am wont to say.
It's okay, compliments. At least y'all both drink water.
That's true.
That's a similarity y'all have between each other.
Yeah, but you know who else drank water? Hate to even say it, but you know, certain mustached man, yeah.
Well, I guess that proves it. Mel's a Yahtzee.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Dingus fluence. Mel, I hope you're around for the lab leak talk, okay? So you can tell us how ill-informed we are, because that's what I need more of. How am I supposed to? I don't understand what I'm supposed to fucking do here. I keep dying in the same spot. Big Soda, help me. Are you watching my stream? How do I
No.
reach that? I don't understand. Do I? Nope, that didn't work. Oh, I thought I died. Nope, that does not work. How do I make this shoot? No, I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna make that. I'm not gonna make the jump. No! Fuck. Just want to beat this screen because I do have to then go if we're starting the panel probably in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna head out and write some stuff down so that way, we're both not unprepared. Someone's got to be prepared.
Oh, on that note, did I do it? Will I do it? We could do it. No! I'm so close. Okay, that's fine. You know, not everything has to be success. All right, time to do some brief leak research, and hopefully between what me and Big Soda gather, we can cobble together a stream for tonight.
We
Okay.
got it.
Thank you guys. Thank you viewers watching. Thank you Big Soda. I will see you guys in a little bit.